And we are live, and I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, back from Amritsar, back with all the kulchas in my stomach. Not making any cricketing jokes right now. Actually, talking about good food. My name's Amritsar, and I'm joined in by, of course, a very thrilled Arsenal fan after a good deadline day. Anil, how are you? Good to see you. Missed you in Amritsar, mate.
Yeah, somebody had to take care of the work back home.
And you guys did a fab job, by the way. Even though it was a ridiculous game. I don't know what pitch that was.
I was like fuming at everyone who was writing reports saying that India edged New Zealand in a thriller. I'm like, if this is a thriller, then I don't want to watch a thriller ever again in my life.
It's quite shocking. I mean, they're showing the scorecard of it, and I can't believe a 31 ball 26 of Suryakumar won them the man of the match.
Did you?
We managed to watch it while getting ready for Sovish's reception.
So, I mean, I'm sure that you would have missed large parts of the game, right? So,
agreed.
Were you like kind of thinking what the hell is going on?
I was just like, what's happening? I saw a couple of bizarre runouts that Sundar and Suryakumar won.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous. What else kind of caught your eye in that game? Was it just like, I don't know, one of those crazy low-scoring T20 affairs?
I don't know. It was just the match happened. That's it. Because it's not like a wicket where there was as much turn as we saw in the first T20 in Ranchi.
Yeah.
And the ball was not like keeping low ridiculously in every single ball or something like that. But overall, it was just tough to score, And even though...
so that's 17 overs of spin?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It could easily have been 18 or 19 if Chapman had bowled more, because they kind of gave the last over to Tickner and the penultimate over to Ferguson, and Ferguson did a good job.
No, I mean, they're just showing the stats right now. So that's 30 out of 40 overs of spin in a T20 match, which is the most, and that's 75%.
Between top 10 teams, yeah.
That's quite ridiculous. But when India kind of got over the line there, were you guys surprised by the fact that New Zealand actually had a really good chance to defend 99?
Exactly. If you're defending 99, first of all, you don't expect the opposition team
100%.
to take it to the very last over, right?
Oh, correct.
Obviously. I mean, you can probably see a 70 all out or an 80 all out. That's okay. You defended 99, but imagine how embarrassing it would have been for India if they had 5 wickets in hand and they had failed to chase.
It would have been
100. I mean, that's probably the worst chase in T20 history, right? If that happens.
100%. And the fact that if New Zealand win today, they'll win a rare series in India. I think the last time anyone won a white ball series in India was Australia, I think.
Australia in 2019. I mean, South Africa came close in last year, but the decider ended in as a whitewash. Good old Bangalore weather.
Yeah, so basically, let's just tell the viewers, in case they're living under a rock, India decided to bat first tonight in Ahmedabad. And I think the curator would have been a nervous lad, given by what Hardik said in the post-match about the Ranchi pitch. And fair.
And you heard the news. The curator was sagged.
Oh, was he?
The Lucknow curator has been sagged.
Oh my God.
What happened.
So, more dodgy things in the UP. But love. We show love and nothing but love. One change for New Zealand, though. Ben Lister comes in. What do you guys have any idea about this man?
I've not seen him bowl, to be honest. But from what I've seen in his profile, he's apparently a left-arm seamer.
Okay.
So
interesting.
We'll have to see how it goes. His profile, it's actually written as left-arm medium. So we have to see whether he's another trundler or fast medium
Is he
fast.
Like one of those Mitch McClanahan types?
I mean, Mitch McClanahan is proper fast.
Oh, this is like one of those.
Probably, I don't know if he's like a Chetan Sakaria type medium, or it's more like Junaid Khan. Like, we have to see.
Agreed. So now I'm just trying to think of India's solitary change which they made tonight. Umran's back in for Chahal. Chahal 2 overs, 1 for 4 with the maiden over that he bowled, and he gets the sack. Why is that?
I mean, probably he can feel hard done by, because especially the boundaries are bigger in Ahmedabad.
Yeah, sorry, was it just like open? Apologies, lads. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so we are violating community guidelines.
Sorry about that. But look, there's lots of fun and giveaways. Keep the comments coming through. We'll tell you about our Amritsar episodes. We'll get good cricket on as well.
Yeah, but quickly finishing up on Chahal, I think after the couple of really good overs he bowled in the power play, I mean, I feel it was a chance missed to boost his confidence. I mean, Chahal has had a very
Is it a horses for courses thing that they're doing today by dropping him?
I'll get to
why they're not picking him.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, I'm saying that Chahal did not complete his quota of overs in the previous match, and Pandya bowled 4 overs, and I felt that was bizarre, because fine, Pandya did a good job to end off with, but in the longer run, right, it's probably beneficial for India if Chahal rediscovers his confidence and gets his mojo back. And when a guy has bowled 2 power play overs and taken a wicket, and which is rare for him, by the way. Chahal never bowls in the power play. He never bowls 2 overs, and he's considered like 5-6 runs and taken a wicket as well.
True.
What you want to do as a captain, keeping in mind the bigger picture, is that you probably want to give him as many overs as possible so that he gets as much confidence as possible, and you can probably carry on the confidence, because at the end of the day, the point of a bilateral series is winning. I mean, not winning, right? It's about building the side going forward, and you are probably, the World Cup is still 15-16 months away, or 12 months
and
away.
And he didn't play the first T20 international,
he did not.
Right?
So I'm completely okay with playing Umrah, but I would again not have played Mavi. I would have played Umran instead of Mavi.
Yeah.
And I would have still played Chahal, I guess.
Okay.
So who's the other seamer? Arshdeep. Yeah, I would have played Arshdeep instead of Chahal.
So now
Chahal instead of Arshdeep.
Yeah, so now they're playing 3 seamers tonight: Arshdeep, Umran, and Mavi, and Pandya 4 early. And India, I mean, Pandya said this is the toss as well. The fact that they played this particular, not pitch, but venue for the IPL final, so he was kind of going by that history. Keep your comments coming through. Guy, good to see you as well in the comments. And Nitin will take your comment as well. But this is the decider. Comes from Ahmedabad. Sync your streams into the watch-along. And it is going to be the debutant who's going to be opening the bowling for New Zealand, Benjamin Lister. He looks a little bit like Mitchell McClanahan, but like Anirudh said, he's way slower. Not way slower, but
we have to see.
We'll have to see. Ishan Kishan and strike. India really need to kind of do right things. So first ball.
And by the way, it's a big match for Kishan. We spoke about it in the previous watch along as well.
Yeah.
I think he's now not past 50 in his last 13 innings in T20Is, and his average in this period is around 12 or 13.
True, and I was looking at his numbers. He's got, this is his 27th T20 international knock.
That's a lot.
And he's only got 450s. Is that kind of, is he flattering to deceive?
I mean, it's fine for a guy like Kishan. You don't expect him to rack up 50s, but you want him to consistently impact matches, and that I feel is something he's not done, unfortunately. Probably.
Do you feel he's one of those other players again who's gone into thinking about playing for that place more than being the flamboyant guy that he was who burst onto the scene?
Look, I don't know what happened with Kishan in T20Is or T20s in general, because we remember that IPL season in 2020.
Correct.
And then he had a very good debut against England. And then the IPL 2021 season happened when he lost all his confidence when they played on turning tracks in Chennai and stuff.
Yeah.
And after that, he never looked the same. And he's never looked the same since then.
Seriously. That IPL 2020, Ishan Kishan was nuts. And Quinton de Kock was sublime for Mumbai, but he was superseding Quinton de Kock's numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Kishan has not looked himself since that IPL 2020 season, or probably that first debut knock against England when he was just fearless and he was just smacking everyone. I think he hit his first ball for 4, if I'm not wrong, in T20s. So since then, that Ishan Kishan has gone missing. And I don't know, it's worrying, because we saw the same happen with Pant
100%.
as well. He kind of had 3 excellent world-class IPL seasons, and after that, his T20 game went down the drain.
Some would say even about the same thing about Rahul.
You know what's happening
with Rahul as well, it's quite ridiculous. Pranav, we'll take your question right now, because Ben Lister is actually showing some really good shape in terms of swinging the ball out there. He gives me a little impression of James Faulkner or Daniel Sams
as well. Yeah, I was thinking Daniel Sams. It's he has a jump and his arm kind of goes like this.
And it's floaty. Ben Lister can swing it early on, uses a lot of variations, cutters and slow balls, gets good shape. He doesn't need all that against India because he's a left-hander, and that's enough. Yeah, I mean, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't think these batch of players are scarred by left-handers yet.
That is an absolute immaculate cover drive if there ever was. I think he's just put bat to ball on that. And I mean, he surprised himself, Shubman Gill. And what is it for Gill? Because I know we were kind of complaining about him being thrown into the Sri Lankan series. They should have played Gaikwad. Gaikwad's now missed out with an injury and all of that.
Yeah.
Now Shubman Gill won't just play this one. He might potentially play the first Border Gavaskar test as well.
Yeah.
Which Shreyas Iyer
as number 5, because Shreyas Iyer is out with injury. So, which again.
Or do you think he'll open with Rohit and Rahul do what he did for Indian ODIs?
Because Shubman Gill is not yet a starter in the test level.
Correct.
So you can probably play him down the order.
So is he batted for India anywhere else apart from opening?
I think he batted 1 innings at number 3.
Okay, in an ODI or tests.
Not sure which innings it was, but he batted 1 innings at number 3. It might have been in Mumbai, I'm not sure. But he did bat 1 innings at number 3, that I'm sure. So yeah, we'll get to the border Gavaskar chat.
Border
soon.
Gavaskar chat
But
soon, because-
breaking news or delayed breaking news for anyone who's not aware that Shreyas Iyer has been ruled out of the first test and he won't play the first test in Nagpur because he has a back injury and apparently it's taking longer
So
than
it's the same
expected.
injury which has ruled him out for this series, right?
Yeah, basically. So he had a checkup at NCA today, and they said that he needs 2 more weeks before he can start batting again. So there is a good chance, therefore, that he might miss the second test as well.
But do you think that's a real blow to India?
Of course,
To be very honest
at
with
home,
you?
obviously, because
Really?
Pant is already not there. You need someone who's a really good player of
Yeah.
not just a really good player of spin,
Yeah.
but a player who can counter-attack spin.
Hmm.
And if Iyer, he might look sometimes like a walking wicket even against
True.
spinners at times. But you know that if you bowl a bad ball, it's going for 6 or 4.
That's true.
You can't say
But
that
the
about
like for like for Shreyas Iyer right now, I mean, they might actually go for
Surya.
Sky, right?
I mean, I was thinking, the thing is, if you're going to pick Surya with the sole intention of taking down Nathan Lyon, it might not be a bad option at all.
True, and plus, like, you want to give Shubman Gill the perfect chance right now to be the backup opener.
I
And
don't
Sky to
know
be
about
the-
that. I think
the
Shubman
filler.
Gill is still searching for his position in the starting 11.
Oh!
My God, I'm sure that's
He's
surely
gone,
that's
he's gone. He's gone, and
He's
Ishan
gone.
Kishan's gone. He's literally played the wrong line. He will review it, I guess. He's saying bat, or height.
But this does not bode well for India heading
It
into
doesn't.
the
It doesn't.
Border
at all.
Gavaskar trophy.
I
for
mean,
sure.
Talk about Ahmedabad pitches and not really providing spin players playing for the state one, or not playing for the state one in this case.
This
I mean,
is playing for the state one.
I mean, he's been
yeah.
castled in the first T20 international, which is brilliant. I think that was always going to be playing in his mind. And right now, I think he's reviewed it, but I don't think he's going to survive this one. What's your
Yep.
gut feel?
I think it's plum, but unless it's an inside edge. Oh, he's a goner,
plum.
bro. He's a goner.
plum.
I think it's
He's absolutely
umpire's
plum.
call. I think it's umpire's call. Height might be a slight factor, but I think it's umpire's call on height. I think it's clipping the bail.
Wow. So Ishan Kishan, he knows it. He knows that there's no bat. He's not even waiting for ultra edge or ball tracking. Oh, hello.
Nah.
Hello.
That is.
Yeah, I think that's arguable.
Yeah.
That's honestly arguable.
Nah.
It's touch and go there. I think he's gonna be go like
Nah.
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
you can't give that. You can't give that inside edge as an inside edge. That surely is.
But another failure for Ishan Kishan, you just spoke about it.
Wait. Oh yeah, they've moved on to ball tracking.
1 red, 2 red. Is it going to go over? No, it
Yeah,
isn't.
umpire's
Umpire's
call,
call
clipping.
says spot on. Well done. And Ishan Kishan, another failure.
Yeah, so which makes me think that if he gets dropped for the next series, the next T20 series that India play, he can have no complaints. So it's now up to Kishan to salvage his T20I career, T20 career by having a stellar season. for
True.
Mumbai
So
Indians.
is it someone like Padikkal and Jaiswal looking at this match and being like,
Shaw, he's in this squad.
Shaw is a right-hander. I'm thinking about left-handed options now.
Yeah, it's fine. I think Shaw
Shaw
can
for sure.
still do a job.
So Shaw and potentially whoever gets back in the Indian team. 13 consecutive failures, says Gary
Yeah.
for Ishan Kishan.
No, he's not wrong.
Dude, like he
Not
just
wrong.
brought it up. The 2020 IPL Ishan Kishan, that's what we want to see. I think he's just gone into like an overthinking sesh.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. See,
Which is
that is why,
ridiculous.
it is. They keep on saying this in every sport, not just cricket, football, tennis, hockey, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that you can't just judge a player based on one season.
Yeah. Correct.
You have to give at least a couple of seasons, if not 2 or 3, before labeling a player world class or master destroyer or whatever, because the second season syndrome catches up.
Exactly, for sure.
Maybe someone would have done a extensive research or
Oh, he straight away gone for the sweep, rather Tripathi. And there was a man over there.
See, this is another big match for Tripathi as well. After that 36 or whatever he scored against Sri Lanka, he's kind of not taken his opportunities properly, as we can see from the numbers on our screens right now. It's 53 runs from 4 innings so far, average 13.
True, but regardless of what he does in this match as well, for the remaining T20 internationals this year, you'd still play him.
I play him. I'm just saying that people are impatient. People are
But nowadays, how many games would you consider a long rope to a player in this modern era?
10.
10.
10. I mean, in T20s, I think a minimum of 10.
So that's essentially 3 to 4 good series. I mean, every
No.
T20 series is now.
So for a guy like
match.
Rahul Tripathi, if he's playing 10 T20s, if he can play impactful match-winning knocks in 3, I think it's good enough Four.
Yeah.
4 is great. 5 is exceptional.
Yeah, you take
And
that. You
after
take
that, you're
all day
entering
long.
Surya territory.
Oh, 100%. Shot ball pulled away
That
and he
is
gets
how
his first
you.
boundary. Oh
Oh
no.
my god. New Zealand have been very smart with their field
Very smart.
placements
You know,
all
Arad
series.
Tripathi gives me Binny vibes with that helmet.
Benny.
Binny.
Oh.
Stuart Binny. Like, from a side possible angle.
Bit of
Nitin, good to
DP
see you in
as
the
well.
comments. We'll take both your questions. We'll take your first question, which we didn't allude to. Shanak, if you could just drag that one up, and then we'll come back to the whole BGT chat. Oh, meanwhile,
Meanwhile, Gill
Shubman
has just
Gill.
smoked another one.
Bro, that's brilliant.
But it's
That's a
surprising
great
that
shot.
he's 7 of 6 because
Yeah, for sure.
it felt like he was 4 of 1 and suddenly 7 of 6.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we did see that. Did you see that? Hanuma Bihari batting left
Oh
handed
yeah,
today?
oh yeah. So today.
Was that taking the piss?
No, I mean he broke his arm yesterday, so he
So
had
he
to.
had to.
He had to.
Because when I read it first without seeing it, I was like, oh, he did what Juru did in Pakistan.
No. So the context is that Andhra, he came in at number 3 and Avesh Khan bowled vicious one and kind of fractured his arm, I guess, and then he had to go off retired hurt. And then Andhra were
His left arm.
I think it was, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So they were 323 for 3 at one stage today, and then they collapsed to 354 for 9. So Vihari came in and batted at number 11, and he, I think, added 22 runs for the last wicket.
Well done.
So I think if Khandra had posted 500 or 550 or something, I think he would not have batted. But this is a quarterfinal of the Ranji, and it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity for a team like Andhra, which by the way qualified.
Yeah, for sure.
It had a ridiculously miraculous qualification. So
and more Ranji updates in the cricket.com app.
Yeah.
Which you guys should download.
So just to summarize what's been happening in the Ranji, Jharkhand were bowled out for around 178, I think, and Bengal are right now 320 something for 5.
So who stands favourites to win the Ranji this time around?
Favourites, we'll have to see. The Karnataka look good. Speaking of Karnataka are, I mean, they're flying against Uttarakhand. They have a lead of 300 plus. And Shreyas Gopal.
Oh, look at that shot. Look at that shot for cheekiness, and it's gone 1 bounce 4. This is the world's biggest cricket stadium, so expect big boundaries.
Yep.
Gurkirat is joining today, and we're going to show you some wedding videos if you guys are lucky. In fact, Gilly Yakka. What's up? Gurkirat, good to see you, man. I was with you not too long ago eating some fine food in Amritsar, but how are you, my friend?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, just 2 or 3 days ago, we were planning that we'll go to specific place and eat chicken or fish or, the Amritsari kulchas. And I just want to say that the place that we went to was so good that I actually got stuff packed yesterday in the morning so that I could bring it back to Delhi. Yeah, I mean, I was back in Amritsar after 2 years, and the whole trip reminded me that it's a place that I should go more often, because it's really a place that's for your soul. I mean, the food, the vibe, and going to Golden Temple, spending some time over there, everything. It's just lovely. I mean, you enjoy yourself so much. The hospitality of the people and everything.
This guys was the fact that you had your car, so we were lucky enough for you to show us around, and you did take us to some amazing places. So kudos to you. And plus, like, even the whole Jallianwala Bagh experience to me, because we've just read it in history books, to go and see the bullet wound, marks and the well as well. Like, it was kind of moving for sure. But talk to me about cricket, man, because we were watching that second T20 International in the hotel when we were getting ready, remember? And we were like, what's happening? And the boys are doing a fab job commentating on the second T20. But like, right now, right here, what do you feel? Do you think it's not going to be one of those low-scoring affairs? It's going to be much more than that?
So, I want to say two things over here. I know many were not happy with Kishan and Gill being included, but Gill has only played 5 T20Is. Now, I do think that in the first place he shouldn't have been in the squad, but that ship has sailed. So you have to look forward and then see. So I think it's unfair to drop someone on the basis of 5 T20Is, let alone when one of them happened at the kind of pitch where they
What
played.
about Ishan Kishan? Because he just got out. I just wanted to pick your mind about that. The fact that even we put a cricket.com stat on Instagram and Twitter, the fact that he's been consecutively having these failures, only 450s in his 27 T20 international log. Those are not good numbers. How would you justify that? Or is there any merit to justify that?
So for Kishan to be dropped, India would have had to drop one more player. and that would have only happened if they were going to drop Deepak Hooda and play Jitesh Sharma. And I don't
Hmm.
think currently Jitesh Sharma is in their long-term plans. And the other thing is Hardik as a captain rarely wants seven bowling options, which was evident when he was captaining Gujarat Titans as well, because Rashid Khan was at number seven, and
Yeah.
then it was Rahul Tewatia at six and Hardik himself at five. That meant that Gujarat almost always had seven bowling options. So
Yeah.
with the kind of template that Hardik wants as a captain, along with the fact that I am not sure if Jitesh Sharma is really in India's long-term plans, it made sense to give Kishan one more opportunity. But I think now with the way he's batted in this series, he's not only put his T20I spot in danger, but it's extremely unlikely that he's going to start next week when India play against Australia at Nagpur. I don't see it happening right now because his struggles are evident. If he struggled against Glenn Phillips,
So,
uh,
is it fair to say that KS Bharat will be chuckling it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, rightly so. I mean, even if Kishan had scored 3 centuries in 3 T20As, I think Bharat should have started the
superseded him.
Nagpur test because he's. I mean, Kishan can't keep against Ashwin Aksar, and I mean, he can. I mean, we were watching the first two
Can
T20s,
Rahul
and
keep against?
no,
No.
you need Bharat for sure. I mean, even Pant was, how
So is
Pant
Bharat the
improved.
is a modern day Ridwan Saha for us right now?
Probably, yes. But I mean, the problem, see, it's like this, okay? The thing is, Bharat automatically ensures that India have a superior keeper. But the problem is with Rishabh Pant out, India also need backup in the batting department. However, Ishan Kishan is not such a good batter that you can trade a few drops and then pick him in the team
Oh,
so that he'll
100%.
score a century. If it is Pant, it was a Pant of 2018, 2019 where he was still developing as a keeper, you were okay with him still dropping a couple of catches because you knew that he will, regardless of the conditions, give you a very good 85, 90 in testing circumstances, regardless of the opposition, bowling attack conditions, wicket and everything. But
Yeah.
with Ishan Kishan, his keeping we know is pretty mediocre at this point. His confidence is shot completely. And
Oh,
we don't.
hello. Hello, there could be a wicket here.
That
Oh, evading the
is
man.
close.
Evading the
Yeah.
man. Nearly.
His confidence is shot, and I mean, the guy has played like 5, 6 first-class matches in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
you're
also
gonna
something to
throw
factor in,
him
correct.
in the deep end against Nathan Lyon and
Not Stark, but
Cummins and
Cummins and
Hazelwood and all these guys. I mean, there's a high chance that he'll get eaten alive, and his confidence will take an absolute beating.
No,
So,
you're absolutely spot on.
I
Like the fact that
I just I just want
do
to add one
you
more thing
disagree
over
with that?
there.
Do you think Ishan Kishan can surprise us all? I don't think so.
No, even I don't have that belief, but I just want to add to that KL Rahul bit that Anirudh was stressing upon. Uh, from what I've seen, of KL Rahul keeping wickets in ODIs, I felt that he's done a decent job. Uh, and if Shreyas Iyer was fit, which we are hearing that he might not be fit for the first test match, a very left field option for me would have been to ask KL to keep wickets and have Gill open. Now I agree that with KL there are chances that a few opportunities could be missed. But like I have said even before, when Pant was developing as a keeper in India, you can afford to have a keeper who's developing because your bowlers do create enough opportunities as opposed to the opposition to make sure that one odd or maybe two missed opportunities don't count as much.
Yeah.
Overseas you really can't do that because opportunities are extremely hard to come by, which, and this is something that I used to say when the debate used to happen between Saha and Pant in India. Actually started with Saha in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, when in Adelaide. So for me, I am really not on the bus which says that Ishan Kishan should really play in the 11 because Pant is missing and you need a left-hander. I don't agree to that. The other thing is, if India really want to fit in both Gill and KL, especially with the kind of form that Gill has been, the only way would have been to have KL as a keeper. But I think now, if Shreyas is injured, I think both will anyway play, and that means that KS Bharat will eventually make his debut in Nagpur.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating how it all pans out because there's certain permutations,
so
combinations,
we'll
and you
take
can throw
Vasant.
Suryas
Yeah.
as well. We'll take Vasant right now, who's been waiting for a while. And subscribe, guys, if you're new to the channel and you're watching this. I have a different take, he says. Kohli did perform well in Melbourne when the pitch was difficult, and the knock of Kohli is remembered because of how tough it was. Why can't we have tough pitches?
But you have to remember that Melbourne was a pitch in which 160 played 160.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of movement up front, but once the movement kind of died, the batters had value for shots and everything. This was a pitch where 40 overs, not even 200 was scored.
Just about 200.
Just about 200 was
Yeah.
scored. And zero sixes
Yeah.
in India.
And that's the first, right?
Yeah, and it's, I mean, and like as a fan,
Yeah.
obviously, I say, keep saying
We're
this.
30 for 1, by the way. Sorry, Sean, I just changed that. 30 for 1.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, I feel that as a cricket fan, you have to let T20s be batting dominated and tests be bowling dominated. Then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the pitch we saw in this thing, Lucknow, is probably the equivalent of whatever we've been seeing in Lahore, Rawalpindi.
Was that the worst pitch you've seen ever?
ever?
In a T20?
T20I, in a T20I, I think
Yeah.
so. In a T20I, I don't think I've seen
In a
a pitch
T20?
as bad. That would be probably CPL pitches which are equally bad, but
That's equally
it
bad.
must be up there, the top 5, I think, for sure.
Yeah, no wonder. I mean, that stat they put out, right? Star Sports, 30 out of the 40 overs of that second T20 international, I mean, the 39.5 was spin and bowled by slow bowlers, which this goes to show that why the Lucknow curator was sacked. By the
It
way,
reminds me of the wickets that Australia and Bangladesh played in
Yeah.
before the
Oh, yeah.
T20 World Cup in 2021. But again, they were like,
But
they
expected-
turned a lot, so
Yeah.
you still had the players who really played spin well, or the players who got exposed were those who were clueless, but the guys who had an idea
Sure,
still
yeah.
were able to score runs.
Yeah.
And but come on, if in a
No,
pitch where
I have a very simple opinion on this, that you firstly, I believe, I'm completely with Anirudh here, that if you want attritional cricket, there are two other formats. I have no problems with ball dominating the bat in test cricket or even in phases in ODIs cricket, but I believe that T20 as a format was made to get crowds, and crowds largely want more boundaries. I genuinely don't think that this is something that we can debate upon. Yes, maybe you don't really want 200 and 220 kind of.
Brilliant. I'm sorry, but sorry to interrupt Gill when the other Gill is flourishing over there. And he's played 3 crazy cover drives. I couldn't pick which one, but maybe the guys in the comments below will tell us. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on and then we'll take Akshav's question.
Yeah, so that is one. The other is, in the previous game, you had Glenn Phillips and Deepak Hooda bowl 4 overs for 17 runs. Now on most days they are not even the sixth bowler of their team. Let's be
Yeah.
very clear about this.
Correct.
So if the sixth bowler is bowling 4 overs each for 17 runs, and New Zealand bowled only 1 over of Lockie Ferguson, 1 over of Duffy, and 1 over of Tickner, that
Yeah.
tells you how bad that pitch was. It didn't have anything for the Pacers as well. So
Yeah.
and in fact, Hardik also could have avoided bowling his 4 overs and could have bowled
Yeah,
Chahal's remaining overs. And we were discussing this, while dancing in that event, that why is Hardik bowling, ahead of, because one, the pitch wasn't conducive for it. Two, the entire Indian team and Indian cricketing setup always talks about uh, workload management of Hardik Pandya. And here, Hardik himself was bowling 4 overs and not bowling the other paces and not completing the quotas of spinners on a pitch, on a pitch which was conducive for spinners. So it was not a good pitch, and I know there isn't.
ICC come down heavy on the UPCA.
I don't know. I don't think demerit
There
points
is
exist.
there. Unfortunately, I don't think there are demerit points in limited overs. But if there were demerit points awarded for pitches in limited overs, I think the pitch in Lucknow completely deserved it, just like how the pitch in Rawalpindi deserved it. You can't have such pitches because they are only going to drive the crowds away. In test matches, you want attrition, you want battle between the bat and ball. I'm not saying that battle is in T20s is not necessary, but if you were to ask my preference, 8 days of the week, I know there are 7, but I'm trying to make a point here. 8 days of the week, I'll take a 180 versus 180 game over 100 versus 100 game, because that is why I watch the T20 format for. If I want to see attrition, I am going to watch test matches or ODI cricket, but I'm not. I certainly don't want to watch 100 versus 100 games, which is why I have a lot of criticism for pitches in Bangladesh in T20s. I had a lot of criticism for pitches in Sharjah, and the pitches in Sharjah and Bangladesh were actually better than this.
And just to finish this, I'm still okay with if it's a rank turner and both teams get all out by the 15th, 16th over, That's still at least entertaining to watch. India didn't even lose wickets. They just lost 4 wickets and 2 of them were runouts. So it was horrendous to watch.
It was almost like
It
first
was.
session score versus first session score. We'll go back to Akshar's question, but we'll just take Vasant's point over here. Was it fair in sacking curator? I think we need to go down that route. Pitches need to be tough at certain times, and our player manages to do well is what defines him. I think there's still people in the public, Gurkirat. I mean, I know you're convinced about the fact that it should be 180 versus 180 and more bat v bat than anything else. But there are lots of people who like maybe low scoring T20 games. And we saw that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in 2009 IPL, for example, where there was 115 playing 115.
But you have to keep in mind that this crowd that likes the low scoring matches are in the minority, and you'll only find them on Twitter or Facebook. Nobody ever who goes to a stadium
Stadiums,
wants to
yeah.
see 100 play 100. I mean,
Essentially, you want to see more sixes than wickets.
if you pay 1,000 rupees for a ticket,
Yeah.
would you want to see the kind of match that you saw in Lucknow 3 days ago?
Oh, absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not, right? And it may be fine for those who want to come back home and say that.
But is it fair to say that, say, a 220 versus 220 contest is the most exciting T20, or a 140 versus 140 is exciting? What kind of fan are you?
I would, if I'm going to stadium, I would want as many runs to be scored as possible.
Okay.
Because trust me, I last year, Akash and Bhaskar went to watch Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings in this thing in Brabant Stadium,
Correct. Remember
and
that.
Punjab got all out. Oh, what a
Oh my
shot!
God,
What
that's
is
a
it?
brilliant shot.
Magnificent.
Brilliant from Tripathi. Taking a page out of Sky's book, but they're actually cruising right now. India, sorry, we're just having this chat. We have plenty of chats. So get in the comments, and we're going to be here till like 10:30. We're not taking a break. Me and Gurkirat are back from a wedding, so all the attention on you guys. And then Anirudh can carry it on. But what a shot, though. 55 for 1,
Brilliant.
55 for 2.
He's in the zone today, so
He's in the
hopefully a
zone.
big knock,
Let's not
a
jinx
big
it.
score.
Going back to your
just
point.
finish- yeah. So I was at the stadium where Punjab were like 107 for 8 in 20 overs. Thankfully, Warner and Shaw were the two openers,
And they
they
finished off
scored
with
like
these.
72 in the first 4 overs, I think. Delhi, 5 overs. So the
Oh,
match
my
ended
God.
in 10 overs.
Yeah.
But imagine if it was a normal contest, it would have been extremely painful. I mean, we were getting absolutely frustrated during
No, but
the
it
Punjab
also, like, it
innings.
just made me think right now, when we say what's the greatest ODI, for example, of all time, we all automatically think Australia, South Africa, 438,
Yeah.
437, right? There's a reason why that is, because that was the highest scoring ever. We can't ever think of low
I
scoring
mean, I can think of
ODIs.
one, in Australia, New Zealand, Eden Park 2015.
Oh, that was brilliant as well.
brilliant. But I mean, they are one.
But why don't we remember low scoring ODIs? Is it because, again, it just comes back to the point that people actually are there for runs more than
There
low
are
scoring
classic-
See,
affairs?
my point is simple. If you are if I'm not in favor of sacking the curator, because again because what I've read is that the team management asks for it. Like, sacking the curator in this case is same as sacking the selectors after what happened in the World T20. I mean, it's the easiest scapegoat. It's the
Yeah.
easiest scapegoat. And sacking a curator for this should only happen if this is if this is something which is repeated again and again. One odd mistake can happen. That's okay.
Like
Sacking the
what happened
curator.
in like MCG for a period of time, that's okay. Like for 3-4 years, you continue to produce substandard pitches, then okay. But one of it's just a classic.
It's
Yeah,
an
sometimes
overreaction.
it
It's
baffles
an
you.
overreaction. And what happens is, and I think we've had this discussion. Sometimes the fans and the reactions from everyone in Indian cricket are such that it's very similar to that you get
Oh,
from.
hold on, sorry, 1 second. Hold on, there's a top edge here. And he's really made a meal of that Tickner.
Yeah.
Lockie Ferguson can't believe his luck, who's, again, conceded quite a few actually in his first 2 overs. But nevertheless, India 58 for 1 after 6 overs. Gurkirat could continue.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the fraternity, the Indian cricket fraternity, fans, experts, everyone included, almost everyone wants a scapegoat, like how a mob sometimes wants a scapegoat. There is no process oriented thinking. So
Yeah.
this sacking the curator is a result of that. Asking for a coach to be sacked after a semi-final finish, or celebrating selectors being sacked after the World T20 is indicative of that. Because you and I've been keep saying, I've said this a lot of times. The focus should be on getting the process right. The results will follow eventually. Maybe they will not come instantly, but they will follow eventually. And a lot of the cricketing discourse at large has now been taken away from a process oriented approach. It's just about that we want results, and
Yeah.
you just making changes all the time is not going to give you the desired results, whether that be about the pitch, sacking the pitch curator, or asking for the captain to be sacked, or the coach to be sacked, etc., etc. It's a the sport itself is very varied and has a lot of layers to it, and everyone included, whosoever is a part of the discourse in cricketing community and fraternity, needs to understand those layers before just asking for one simple one step solution, because none of these solutions exist in reality, I feel.
Okay. Nitin wants to progress this conversation, which is always great. And we'll, of course, also really pay our respects and congratulate the under 19 women's cricket team because they won at 5 crores in terms of the prize money. And who knows, it could start off another thing because there was that tweet earlier this week, 2007, we won the under 19 World Cup. And then, of course,
Yeah, like Oreo, right? Like how Oreo launched in
literally one of
2011 and
those. But
Oreo
okay,
launched in.
you watch a lot of the BBL. Oh, shot
Oh,
from Smarty.
that is
That's a
trademark.
brilliant shot.
Trademark report.
That is trademark. And he's taken off the helmet right now, which you've seen
Alpha
multiple
mode on.
times. Guys, get in the comments below. Tell us how much Rahul Tripathi is going to score. And tell us if he should play all the T20s throughout this year. I certainly think he should. Anirudh does as well. I'm guessing he'll clear as well. Go back to that question that Nitin's raised. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed this year because there are a few reasons. That BBL was extremely popular until 4-5 years ago when they
Okay.
decided to change the structure and add 20-25 more matches, and it just became a stretch.
Okay.
And one of the problems, the biggest problems it faces, which probably no other franchise league does in the world, is that it doesn't have its key players.
Correct.
That is because it clashes with the Australian summer, Test
Yeah.
summer. There is no Steve Smith, there is no Travis Head, there is no
No,
Warner,
no.
there is no Stark,
No
there's
Maxwell.
no. Maxwell is there because he doesn't play Test cricket,
Huh.
but Maxwell won't himself can't pull all the audience, right?
Correct,
But
yeah.
this season, even though the season has been long, it has been refreshingly a very upbeat season. And thankfully, because South Africa cancelled that ODI series and forfeited and gave Australia all the points, the calendar got freed up for the players, and that
And that-
enabled
Smith,
Steve Smith
yeah.
and all these players, Khwaja, Labuschagne, and
By the way, what's the
Kelly
scene with
and-
Khwaja and his visa?
Yeah, he's arriving on Thursday.
Okay. So just a
Tomorrow's
little
Thursday,
scared.
right? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
arriving on Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
So yeah, by the way, they're just practicing here in Alur. So
Oh, really?
for
This
4
is-
days, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So yeah, I mean
Absolutely
BBL is improving, and the good thing about BBL is that from the next season onwards, 20 matches, it's again going to a shorter season. So we will have more engagement for sure. I mean, there have been reports from SMH, Sydney Morning Herald, that this has been the best BBL season in like years. The TV ratings are the best it has been in like 5-6 years, apparently. So yeah, BBL is attracting crowds because they have finally got their.
And ultimately, it's a cricket which
together.
really sells it. So I don't really think
Yeah.
there's a low scoring, high scoring thing there. Greg's also in the comments. Greg, good to see you.
And
Oh,
with that, I'll take a small break and
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
be replaced by.
One ace of spades goes and the other one
Akash.
joins in. Akash joins us right now. Greg, we'll take your comment right now. Low scoring T20 matches, the biggest value knockout matches, not on Patreon bilaterally, goes on to say.
Sorry, I won't agree with that.
Yeah, I won't agree with that.
Because masterclass bilateral.
By the way, what have you made
Sorry,
of
Mastercard.
Mastercard? No, Masterclass, yeah.
Wow.
What have you made of Rahul Tripathi so far? Because five,
I can tell you what I made of this pitch. You know, like
way better.
like when you're in this lift cramped with 12 people, and then finally you get to go home. It's that feeling. Finally, there is some cricket that you can actually watch.
I don't know how you guys did the Watchalong the last time because like 200 runs, no boundaries, 30 out of
No
40 over
six.
the spin, no six.
First,
So
I
that
think
would have been.
very rare. I think the first step they're taking.
The thing is,
Yeah.
how can he
Yeah.
comment and be there?
No. I think Gulkar, please answer. Why were you talking about cricket when you guys are dancing? I want to know that.
So essentially, these guys kept thinking that I danced like Kevin Peterson batting, which is ridiculous. I don't think that's true. I mean, we can show you some
you've got
betting videos.
you've got
if,
no moves.
time
You
in
have
the
only,
middle.
you have
What
only
you say?
one dance move, okay, and And I don't think you can dance to save your life. You have only one dance move, Avnish. Let's just make it very, very clear.
Thanks, man.
To answer this question, see, I think we could be discussing cricket even if we are stuck on Mars. We are just that kind of people, and I have no shame in admitting this. So yes, an India match was happening. We were checking the scores side by side, and we were just thinking that what is really happening. And
Yeah.
so it used to be like this, that we were dancing. We would take a break whenever we wanted to take a water break or something. We would just check the score and be like, what is happening, and then we'll
No,
go back and dance again.
that's actually for Gurkula. He took water breaks, unlike you guys.
Yeah, we were we were in high spirits, so to speak.
I just take water breaks. I'm a teetotaler.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, Rahul Tripathi is really taking the scruff. I mean, I was going to make that whole scruff of the next joke, but he's actually showing his worth out there. I really want him to score 50 because his numbers haven't really kind of lit
No,
the
that's the
world up.
thing, right? There are people like you who think that numbers are everything, but when you look at
Bro, but
somebody like Tripathi,
I genuinely feel like, the Indian selectors might just be like, oh, shot. That is a shot. They judge him after 10 games and they see only
Yeah,
270.
I just want to say something. I just want to say something. This is Rahul Tripathi's wedding gift to Somesh, because Somesh for the longest time wanted
yeah,
Rahul Tripathi to be in the T20I setup, and somewhere I think Rahul Tripathi's got to know that Somesh has got married, and maybe he's thinking what better gift to give to Somesh
No, I
than
mean, but the last time, dude, like he was going great guns against Sri Lanka and we jinxed it, so let's not like say anything. But India, after a rollicking start, by the way, 80 for 1, 7.3, sync your watch along with us. And it's not very often that you see Santner concede 11 runs in his first 4 balls, but we'll talk about that. Good way to plug in Akash's article and the video, which is coming out tomorrow, hopefully, about Murali Vijay. Nitin asked thoughts on Murali Vijay's retirement. Guy was very underrated for the kind of knocks that he played as a test opener. Akash?
yeah, like I wrote in that article, right? He had almost at that time he had plenty of shots.
Yeah.
But imagine, despite having all of the shot, if leave is your best shot, right? That says a lot about an opener, because his temperament and the way he played in one of India's toughest test period away from home in
Correct.
Sena country is going to be unmatched.
Yeah.
And
because it's Sena countries, his leave is more appreciable, right?
No, it's like I mean, as the phrase goes, that it's very easy for an Indian opener to bat in India.
Yeah.
And it's very tough for them. If you actually prove yourself in Sena countries, your stories is always going to be there.
Correct.
And that's what Murali Vijay did. In that phase, nobody in world cricket who could soak more pressure than him.
Yeah.
And the way he took on, one is soaking pressure, like how Pujara does.
Correct.
But Murali Vijay took on the spinners effortlessly. Even if you remember the test against Australia, he got out hitting a spinner.
Yeah.
And that is, like stupid shot before
Which
lunch.
one?
No, I'm talking about 2013.
Okay.
No, he was LBW. He was LBW.
Before lunch, that's
not the Adelaide one. The Adelaide
No. I'm talking about the home series.
Brisbane 100. Brisbane 100.
No, he got out at 80 or 80 something, 82 or something. He didn't score 100. He got out just before lunch.
And you guys can check out the article there. So for putting out the link.
Well,
I mean, point being, 1 second. Let's just all get into the nitty-gritty. Beautiful shot. Inside out. I mean, Rahul Tripathi is one of the finest in terms of those inside out shots. Brilliant. But just going back to Murali Vijay, what do you think is his best test now? Because you mentioned a few in your article. As a fellow statesman, which one did you appreciate the most? For me, I know what it is. It's one of those 90s. I'll tell you which
South
one.
Africa.
Yeah,
I think even
I think that Durban one was quite good.
No, so when talking about Murali Vijay, people talk about his 99 in Adelaide. They talk about his 95.
Oh, you know the field.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll still take it.
I'll take it. Brilliant knock. 22 ball 44. It's fine. He's done his job.
And this ball was there to be hit.
Yeah, he did try to hit it.
Is this a longer part of the boundary or no?
I mean, he didn't get the cleanest of connection. This would have been, almost got there.
Unfortunate, but he's given India a brilliant start, 87 for 2, and Logie Ferguson holding on to the lead. Yeah, just coming back to that point of Murali Vijay, guys. I mean, why was it that he had to, for example, wait? I mean, play 3 tests in 444 days or whatever initially. Was that because there were too many places to fight for?
See, I just looked at all of this. I basically like dissected his entire test career, and
Into three periods.
it had three phases. The first phase, I think at that time India had Gambhir and Sehwag,
Correct.
so it is
Still.
almost like very tough for a third opener to kind of take his place because they were going very good.
Yeah.
During the second phase, I think Murali Vijay got his due share because he had played 10 tests, but his average was 28, and he basically was in the same league as Imrul Kais, Mohammad Hafiz, who we don't remember even playing test cricket.
Exactly.
Right? So that was kind of that phase where he had to blame himself.
True.
But the phase that followed, I think that's where Indian, I mean, like the likes of Gambhir, right? All his positives turned into his weakness.
Yeah.
So we talk about like how Gambhir's offside game is very good and all of that, but that turned into his weakness
Yeah.
because he started poking deliveries that are wide outside off, and he used to get out in some.
And that's what
That's what
revived
exactly.
Vijay's
That's
scene.
what brought Vijay back into the scene, and that time he took it brilliantly.
Yeah.
He knew when to leave. That's the beauty of Test cricket, right? You don't have a lot of openers who really want to leave the ball.
Correct.
And somebody like Vijay had all the shots.
Yeah.
It's not like he didn't have the shots and he's leaving it for the sake of it. He had all the shots, but he knew when to hit, and then he channeled and controlled his innings in such a way that at the end of the day you could just look at the innings and be like, wow. But I mean, most of the time he was overshadowed by somebody. Most cases Virat Kohli, but
Yeah.
that's how his.
I mean, I've been
You know,
going through what
I
is his
just
number.
I just
Because
want to
point,
You look at the numbers, let him. Yeah.
3,982 runs in
I,
61
I,
tests.
I just want to come in here on Murali Vijay and say that people talk about his 95 in Lords, the 99 in Adelaide, and the other innings as well. That how he batted well in Durban for 97. But I think one very good innings of his that doesn't really get talked about a lot is his 144 in Brisbane, and
Mm.
that's just because India lost that Test match.
Yeah.
And then there is the second innings in Johannesburg in 2018. He might have only scored some 37 or 30 odd, but he batted I think 100 plus balls on that pitch. And I
Mm.
also think that when he got dropped, he was also slightly unlucky because he was dropped uh, on lack of performances on pitches like the ones in Lords in 2018 when India batted after it rained for 1.5 days, and he got two pitches from Anderson. And then because after that the pitches became easier for batting, whether it was Trent Bridge or Oval or the fourth test in Southampton. So he was dropped there. Then he played the first two test matches in Australia, where again first day Adelaide was a difficult pitch, and then India then he got out in Perth, where he was actually batting well in the second innings against Nathan Lyon, and India were batting in the fourth innings. So he was also slightly unlucky to get these difficult pitches and not get runs. And then you had the likes of Mayank Agarwal making runs in domestic cricket and all around. So I do think that maybe if he
But
had
did
gotten
you rate him highly as an opener?
sorry.
Did you rate him really highly as an opener? As in, like, we of course laud Indian openers generally in Test cricket. You talk about
Yeah.
Sehwag.
So I think in the decade of 2011 to 2020, it's fair to say that he was the best Indian Test opener. Not that we had a lot of them, but he batted well in India as well.
Mm.
Mm.
Had a very good 100 in Hyderabad. I
170.
I
Yeah.
think I think he had a very good 100 in Mumbai as well when Virat Kohli scored that 235. Even in that
Mm.
England series, he did score runs. And you spoke of him playing that having to wait 3 years or something for his second opportunity. I remember he played because Gambhir got banned because he had that push
Mm.
with Watson.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, Gambhir was batting really well because that happened in 2008, and in 2009, Gambhir batted extremely well in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yeah.
So it he had to wait his chances. But once he became a regular member, he rarely scored. Even if we look at the 2012 series versus Australia at home, where
Mm.
he scored that 100 in Hyderabad. He batted really well in Delhi as well, which was a very difficult pitch to bat because that test match ended in 3 days, but he scored a brilliant 50 in the first innings. So at his peak, he really batted well. He scored some
I
400.
feel Murali Vijay, like, of course, like, could have probably just played a little bit more, but unfortunately not. The fact that even he kind of tore it up in the IPL for Chennai, he captained Punjab, so he
So
was a good
I'm just saying that
guy.
that transformation from being a hard hitter, or being an explosive T20 opener, to becoming such a solid
Yeah.
Test match opener, not many players or people can short.
Oh, what a shot that is from Shubman Gill.
Gill is
So
carrying
not
forward the
not many players and batters can do that transformation to being an explosive T20 opener, and then becoming a solid Test match opener.
actually in more ways
It's
than
not
one.
easy.
I think Murali Vijay, like maybe it reminds me of bit of Warner. If he had played more T20Is and ODIs,
Oh, yeah.
he would have been. He's exactly like Warner, right? Both of them did play a lot of
Explosive and then
first class cricket, but they are well known for the T20 game and everything. And then they burst onto like test scene, and they
yeah, I think
the
the
stuff
fact
like
that 1200s, 1550s and stuff just show that he was a quality player. Just to finish up this Murali Vijay chap, will he take the whole route of an Unmuk Chand
he's
Smith
already
Patel
said that.
that he's going?
Yeah. 3 weeks back, he's already opened it up, saying that I just want to continue playing cricket, and at this point, I don't see a lot of opportunity in India for me. So I just want
So
to
where does that allow him to play cricket?
anywhere.
US
Now he can play
county.
anywhere.
Okay, fine. Perfect.
So it's like a perfect win-win because he knows that he's not going to be picked by an IPL team.
Yeah.
And if you're not picked by an IPL team, there's only few chances. And Tamil Nadu have moved past him for various reasons. They've already moved past him, so that essentially leaves him with no opportunity in India.
Yeah.
So why not take that route? I mean,
Okay.
that's
Let's
a
see.
route that cricketers should take.
For sure.
If the board is not allowing, just take that route.
Done. Right. So let's leave that Murali Vijay conversation there. But big up for all you guys asking those questions in the comments below. Pranavandan going on to say Tripathi went from 9 of 10 to 44 of 22 and taking out spinners, which Indian team lacks. He should be back, especially in the World Cup. Is on the West Indies slow surfaces. Stepping down against Satna is an easy, too good. I think the other comment from Chuchant as well, praising this current Indian batting lineup, saying that we should really give chances to Gill, Tripathi, all these kind of guys, and Bin, Kohli, and Rohit, and everyone like that. Shivatsan, we were speaking about this right now before you asked us how long should be a long rope essentially. Is it 10 games? Is it 3 series, 4 series? Like in this year where T20s are inconsequential, would you play Rahul Tripathi regardless? Because I know you told me not to take a selector, but like you're right when you say that. But do you think they will give him that?
See, there's a good chance. I mean, whatever I am going to say will not align with the selector.
True.
Because otherwise I would be a selector.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that they should actually they should get a time where they should actually decide if Virat Kohli is going to play or not. And if they are moving past him, they should clearly back Tripathi at number 3 or Sky at number 3 and Tripathi at 4, whatever way, whichever way. But they have to do this, and they have to do it as soon as possible so that he knows that he's being backed. You should not get your chances and always think of if your spot is under pressure. If you have these kind of thoughts, right, nobody's going to perform naturally. Imagine being Umran Malik.
Yeah.
You after just one over, you're dropped from the second T20 because of the pitch. I mean, I'm not saying that.
And then imagine you use Chahal because of 2 overs you dropped and then back to Umran Malik.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'll have to just go and probably the management will have to tell Tripathi that this is what we see and we are going to back you. Doesn't matter if you fail because naturally his game, his playing style is going to have a lot of failures.
Yeah.
More than I think even more than success, he'll have a lot of failures.
Correct.
But if they are going to back him, they should back him properly. Because on days like this, right, this is exactly the innings that could be a differentiator between a winner and loss.
No, absolutely.
So I'll say the same thing that I say for Prithvi Shaw. As long as he's able to give you an average of 30 over a decent sample space, say 10 to 15 games, it's enough.
Yeah, because currency, right?
Sorry?
Runs is the ultimate currency. Ultimately, when you're being judged by selectors, it's good to got a man who, speaking of selectors, fantasy selectors, a man who, of course, makes his presence once again. Nikhil, great to see you, my friend. We did miss you in the second T20.
No, you missed him. We didn't miss him.
We did. They did.
I think he'll tell you that we missed you more than
quite a bit. How are you? How are you this evening?
I didn't miss anything. I had a lot of fun. I am being brutally honest.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
because
that's
okay,
yeah.
kind of flat. But Nikhil, yeah, go on. What have you made of it so far? 102 for 2, 10.2, 103 for 2 now.
Yeah, I think so far almost the ideal start that India would have wanted,
Yeah,
held by of the catching, but that's you can't do much about it. So Gill will take that score every single day, both the Gills that are there. So that that's also accounted for. I don't feel bad or something like harsh for Ishan, but I feel the time is really slipping away from him,
yeah.
especially when there is so much competition, and the way he's gotten out, it doesn't give you the enough confidence. Otherwise, everything is going fine for now for India, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Avas
fantasy
Kutli
wise as well.
he's a villain every time. I think he nearly got
Yeah, yeah,
Surya out right now. Oh,
yeah.
who's your captain and vice captain of the day? I know it's an inevitable question that we always need to ask you, but
Don't answer. Don't
did,
why?
did you have Rahul Tripathi in your team? You did, right?
100%, 100%. More importantly, in the South Africa game, I had both Malan and Butler, and I'm very happy that I was able to take that call as well. So far the
Is Butler
visualization
still
has worked.
battling?
Yeah, I just have to say sorry, Nikhil. Every time you have to just answer fantasy questions. Please don't just say I'm
Oh,
not
what a
going
shot
to
that
answer.
is!
Go and follow my
What a
Twitter
shot that
profile.
is for 6. Surya Kumar Yadav getting on with it. 109 for 2, 10.4 overs. But man, some amazing,
220 loading.
yeah, some amazing hitting so far we've seen. And we're
But
all, I'm
but
actually checking.
Jaws Butler rarely. I mean, Jaws.
And 118. Wow, you really hit the jackpot, aren't you?
Now that Nikhil has mentioned Jaws Butler, I
Yeah.
mean, I just want to bring up this conversation. But do you guys think that he's currently undergoing the kind of run that AB was going through, minus the test matches, of course, but because in the last game he came and accelerated and finished with a 90 of 70 odd balls, if I'm, or maybe 80 odd balls, and finished the inning strongly. And today he came to bat at 14 for 3, and England are 270 for 4, and he's still batting. And he's been able to resurrect the innings, score 100, and still maintained a strike rate of more than 100. That's insane. That's
That is very.
ridiculous.
But I hope South Africa do give them a whitewash. 3-0. Just hammer the Brits.
And this is. I'm just looking at the wagon wheel again on the cricket.com app, and I really want to mention this, that looking at the batters
Love it.
wagon wheel
कुछ
is
भी
something
बाजी
something
कुछ
that.
भी बोल रहा है.
Are actually see, have a look. I'm actually looking at the wagon wheel
Tottenham on
because the
ground.
wagon wheel is not available on the other apps. So
Yeah,
Download the
I'm I'm just,
cricket.com app.
I'm just looking at
Thing is,
I'm
Nikhil
just
has it.
I'm just looking at the wagon wheel.
Yeah.
Yes, Butler has scored 6 boundaries and 6 sixes, which rarely makes which is 50% of his runs through boundaries. But also look at the amount of singles he's taken. The whites and the yellows, the whites and there aren't enough twos. But just look at the number of singles he's taken, which actually has made sure that he keeps rotating the strike, and it's something that a lot of aggressive batters need to learn from him. That you don't have to play bat in binary terms. It isn't always about boundaries or dots. There is a world that exists in terms of running the wickets, which is something that even Virat does very well, and he's set that template for a decade. And now we are seeing someone who's so aggressive, in the shorter formats, to do the same. And again, people keep talking about intent and everything, but when you come into bat at 14 for 3 and you rotate the strike very well, even that is intent. Intent is
Yeah.
not always about hitting boundaries. This is something that people need to understand. I think there is a great misconception about what the term intent holds. Everyone uses it loosely, but I don't think that they understand that intent could mean different things at different points of time. Even
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
defending.
So, I just want to ask you guys this, and we'll pick up Biswajit Das's comment as well about Shubman Gill, who's approaching a 50. Dare I say that he's not going to get one. He goes on to say, thoughts on Gill playing T20s as a management want to have a batter who can score long runs and tough pitches we might want in the World Cup 2024. Now, what is the difference between Rohit, Gill, and KL, the T20 international opener? Because I'm guessing KL and Rohit also, if they were batting today, they would get like 34, 35 ball 50s, right? So, what is Gill bringing different to them?
Okay,
Akash, then Gill, and then Gurkira.
okay. One,
Oh, wait.
if
Oh,
the
oh, oh, yeah. Gurkira just pretends not to hear me at times. It's ridiculous.
he has KL Rahul, and you can't stop it. Please.
Yeah, you can't stop him. Wait, Gurkeerat, watch it. I'll come back to you. Let Akash
No,
take
no,
it, then
let
Nikhil,
he's
and then...
already thought of it. So let him. Yeah.
No, I want to hear what
No,
Gurkeerat has to say.
no, I also want to hear because
Okay.
I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
just going to say my answer also same.
So if we are going to compare Gill
Oh,
with
50, by
Kohli
the
and
way.
with Kohli and Rohit, see, at this stage of their respective careers and at this stage of Gill's career, he's definitely the better player of spin, and I think he's more suited for conditions in West Indies. That is one. Uh, if we are going to compare him with KL Rahul, can KL Rahul replicate something that Gill's doing? Yes, there is no question about it, and I'd say that even he has the capability of even doing better, right? And because of that capability, India have stuck with KL Rahul for quite long. But given the fact that he's not clicked in a lot of crucial games, and his intent issue in the IPL is what has led him to not play
No,
T20Is
but
for
what's
all.
his ceiling? What's his ceiling? In the sense that
Oh, Rahul.
can he dish out, no, Gill, can he dish out like say a 22 ball 50? We've seen KL dish out a 14 ball 50 if he's in that mode, but now he's not in that mode.
I
So
think Gill's I think
can
Gill's ceiling is probably a 55 to 60 ball 100 in T20Is, right?
Hmm.
I do believe that he has the skill to bat quicker in the power play, because if you look at the numbers, once the power play gets over, he actually starts accelerating quite well. He has a strike rate of around 140 in the 7 to 11 over period, right? Which is actually quite good. So, and he has too much skill. I've said this before. He has too much
no, but
skill
a
to
55 ball, 60 ball, 100, I mean, it's hard to gauge because technically all T20 international unders, barring a few, are in that range, right? So I'm asking you in terms of 50, what's the fastest 50 that he can register while
at
playing for
this
India? Playing for Gujarat.
at this point of time, maybe somewhere between 28 to 30 balls. But we also have to realize that this is his sixth T20I, and he's 23 if I'm not wrong. So overall, his game in all formats is still a work in progress, and I say that even in ODIs, even when he's averaging 70, because
But
he's still...
younger the player, they should be more fearless, right? Because you expect this to be done by, say, a 28-year-old Gill when he's more mature and he's played lots more games. But right now, like, do you feel like he's still like not taking the shackles fully off?
See, you
Right?
could be you could be fearless in terms of your mentality, but do you really have that skill and that intent to bat that way? You have to understand that he's coming after 5 failures, and he actually did well in the power play today. So maybe if maybe two series down the line, if he's still batting slowly and not accelerating, maybe we could criticize him for that. Or maybe if he starts doing that in the IPL, sometimes the rules are such. I felt that in the IPL, because Gujarat had Rahul Tewatia at 6 and Rashid Khan at 7, maybe him playing slowly in the power play along with Riddhiman Saha batting in a high intent strategy probably played a role in his low strike rate. Maybe we'll say that we'll see that change in this IPL. What I'm saying is that it's not a skill issue with Gill alone. It's not a skill issue. It's probably an intent issue. And KL Rahul has been tried and tested, and he's not delivered when India have wanted him to deliver. So that is why they have gone to someone like a Shubman Gill. And
No, but
60
then but Rohit Sharma right now, for example, oh, what a shot that is from Surya Kumar Yadav, by the way. That's quite brilliant. Nikhil, you come in here. Rohit and KL, right? We can expect them to score 24, 22, 21 ball 50. We've seen them do that before. And right
Rohit
now,
only scored, Rohit only scored one T20I 50
Yeah.
last year.
I
He
know,
was
but
trying. He
I'm
was
saying
trying.
generally in their careers, they've had the ability to deliver that. We haven't seen
Yes.
that by Gill even in the IPL.
Yeah, but then it's also to do with how they
See,
are as players, right? I
Correct.
don't think
So my
I don't
question
think
to you guys
Rahul.
is to the larger audience. If we're looking at that World Cup 2024 and we're not looking like players like Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, is Shubman Gill pretty much of the same crop where he can give you a 50, a steady 50 of a 33 ball kind of thing? We don't need that, right? Or do you think we do?
Oh,
Oh,
what a
taken.
catch!
Oh,
gone.
So I will just
Up.
come back to the
Oh,
conversation. Michael Bracewell has taken a great catch to dismiss Surya. They're holding on here, but I think New Zealand know it's the third
No,
wicket
it's
already.
I think it's gone. So coming to your question, Gill
Yeah.
is actually, as a batter, even if you see him bat in ODIs, he's pretty much of the same mold as a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma, right? And again, uh, Rohit in the last 6 years, it's not that he's not tried to bat quicker. He's tried, but he's failed, right? And by the time the next World Cup comes, he'll be 36, and again that World Cup will be happening on pitches where you will need an anchor. You will need someone who can play spin well. And Gill, when he was batting in Sharjah for KKR in that 2021 IPL, he actually showed that what difference a batter like him can make on those pitches, which you are likely to counter in West Indies. So I feel investing in him is the right choice. But what he needs to work upon, and I've been saying this for quite some time, is his power play, is his strike rate in the power play. As of now, in the IPL and in T20 internationals, I think it's been around 118 to 120. If he can take it to 130 and then accelerate, there is nothing wrong with it. We also need to realize and understand that India are not a team that has a lot of batting depth. Best case scenario in for India is that they bat till late. 9, 10, 11, regardless of what combination you play, your 9, 10, 11 are, are mugs with the bat. And your 8 also, number 8 also is not someone who's proven, who's not like a Sam Curran or a Chris Wokes or someone who you can bank upon to give you those
Correct.
hits every
So
day.
essentially, if you look
If
at
you're
it in
batting,
terms of Gill and
just
how
let
he's
me
been,
complete. So if
huh,
your batting is still number 7 only, you do need one batter who can bat through, and that is why you also need your top 5 or top 6 to give you a minimum average of 30, which I feel is something which is the minimum basic requirement from a Prithvi Shaw or from a Rahul Tripathi, because 30 is should be the minimum average that you need.
yeah,
No, so in that case, I think Nikhil knows that we were discussing in last game that we had suggestions like somebody like Deepak Huda. He can do a similar role. Again, he can play spin really well,
yeah,
and he can attack the bowlers as well. So why not try using him in the top order? Because essentially he can bowl.
yeah.
He can give you those overs. And if you have like a bowling option in your top three, that solves a lot of issues on off days for like Hardik Pandya or somebody, or even if somebody gets injured, it's easy to replace
Yeah.
and bowl those overs, right? We had two options. I think we discussed about even Washington Sundar potential an opener, left-hander, can bowl spin, can be very useful, can play spin really well, and has the ability to go guns blazing in the power play.
Yeah.
So why not try them? If Gill is going to do that,
Yeah.
they can do that and can bowl as well.
Exactly. I fully agree with that point. It brings me back to a question I want to ask Nikhil. If the World Cup, say, in 2024 was in the West Indies, does that mean Prithvi Shaw would have been playing this series instead of Gill? Because what Gurkhi had said, the fact that he's one of the best spin players right now in terms of our options.
Sure, they could.
Oh, Gill. I'm talking about Gill because Gill's been picked right now, knowing that the West Indies World Cup is around. If it was anywhere else, would it have been Prithvi Shaw?
Like that.
Like, is it like, has his T20 international career just taken off because the World Cup's in a spin friendly venue?
I feel his career is taken off because of what is done in ODIs. I
Huh.
don't think they've given it now enough thought about, okay, it is in West Indies, so let's play Gill. I don't think it's a natural fit as such that, okay, he's somebody you will definitely need. I would rather, as Akash rightly said, I would rather take a point with Deepak Huda if you are only going by conditions. If you are going to expect a lot of spin being bowled in the power play, I'll much happily have Huda open and then give him the license to go berserk. But the thing that you have to understand is it is the pairing that matters. So if
Yeah.
Gill is going to open with someone like a Shaw, then it is fine. Because Shaw is going to take the risk that Gill doesn't have to. And then it will allow Gill to exploit the pace options and the gaps as well easily to set a platform for someone like a Shaw to keep going from the other end. So the pairing is then what is important. If you pair Huda and Gill, I don't know. I don't think it sounds as exciting to me as a Shaw and Gill pairing excites me as of now. But again, I'll not mind Sundar also opening because he's again not done that on the international stage. But this is where you'll be able to see. So I think Abbas had a good question about what if Rohit and Kohli have a very good season. But the very good season has not just to be in terms of runs, it has to be in terms of the impact that it has. The strike rate matters, who they played, what manner they played, did they combat spin well. All of that has to be taken into account, and then you can take a call. And I'll
Yeah.
still say, don't do a Shami, don't play them for 2 years and bring them in the World Cup. Just don't do that. It's unfair on everyone.
Yeah, and it's not setting a good precedent going forward as well. And I think those are good points you guys have mentioned. Now, another thing, just to finish this conversation about Shubman Gill, right? I feel that if India go into that World Cup having power players around him, like if he's opening with Prithvi Shaw, then you have Rahul Tripathi batting one down, Suryakumar Yadav two down. That's essentially then his role becomes all the more just
Important,
being an
yeah.
anchor, and he doesn't have to go gung ho. He doesn't have to he can do pretty much what he was doing with Usman Shah in the IPL. Right?
Exactly. But now he is batting with Ishan Kishan, so he has to take more responsibility because I mean it's a very tricky part because we have seen Ishan Kishan smash bowlers in the past,
Yeah,
but the keyword is in the past. We
true.
have not seen that on international stage as consistently as we have.
Oh, this is the Gill that I want to see.
No, this is a Gill you will see. This is a Gill you will see, but after he
Really?
gets set, that is the difference. So that's where you'll have to kind of assess.
And wait for him to play a certain number
No,
of
no.
balls.
If you're gonna play somebody like Virat Kohli,
Yeah.
and if you're gonna play Gill at the top of the order,
That's-
then it makes no sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
But if you're then having like somebody like, if you're gonna insist with Tripathi, Suryakumar Yadav, and just going to ask them to go hit everything, then you'll have to play anchor as Gurkirat said, right?
Yeah, correct.
But again, having said that, I don't think his ceiling is maybe as high as others.
Yeah.
It's not as high as KL's. Right now it isn't. Right now
True.
it isn't. But the
But right
problem
now,
is again,
40 ball 60. You think he can go on to get that 55 ball 60 ball 100 like you were saying, Gurkirat?
he can,
Or is it
but I'm not sure he will. What I'm
Because
what I'm
we
getting
all
to
know
is-
Virat Kohli in fifth gear, how mad he is. Do you think Shubman Gill has that acceleration? Do you think that?
see again for that we need to understand that that fifth gear or the sixth gear that Virat Kohli has when he goes into that overdrive mode is not something that he developed in his first year of international cricket.
True.
It's something that comes with time. So at this point of time, does he have the tools to develop that gear? Certainly. Is he a finished
Has he
product?
shown glimpses according to you? Like how
Sorry?
Kohli did, he showed glimpses.
Sorry, I lost you.
I'm saying Kohli, at least in his first year of international cricket, showed glimpses, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, not initially, but sure, he showed glimpses. Has Gill, have you kind of drooled over any Gill T20 knock for Gujarat, for KKR, for anyone?
Yeah, I mean he batted really well in that 2019 IPL where he smashed Mumbai. Then last year he batted really well versus Delhi in Pune. He batted extremely well versus Punjab in that chase in Brabant. So he showed that glimpses. He showed that glimpses not only in T20s but in ODIs and Test matches as well. In ODIs he's definitely had a great
So
start.
ODI and Tests, for me, he's there in that team. But I'm just saying T20s, if he's batting with certain power players like Akash said, if Kohli's there, it doesn't make sense to have Gill. Or if Gill's there, it doesn't make sense to have
That I agree. If Kohli is there, then it doesn't make sense to have Gill. And we were talking about. I'm not really considering Kohli for that World T20 in 2024. I think with age and the conditions, it's really difficult to fit both him and Rohit. What I was getting to is that yes, at this point of time, KL has a higher ceiling, but again, the debate comes that do you want to back someone with a higher ceiling that really doesn't come for that only comes in those one game in 10-15 matches, or do you want to maybe persist with someone who maybe has that 80% of the ceiling but is more likely to deliver and more often to deliver? That is the debate that you need to have and see. And I think a lot of it will eventually come down to how your team composition is. If you have six other batters who can really start quickly, when I say start quickly, can score 17-18 runs in first 10 balls, then you can have someone like Shubman Gill who is likely to take his time in the first 10-15 balls and then accelerate. And
I agree.
and if you see today, he was 27 or 14 balls, so it's not that he's not working on that aspect. It will take time.
By the way, India really kind of setting, some sort of big score here. 149 for 314.2. Let us know in the comments below
Wait,
how
let me
many you
just
can get.
Complete this thing. So
Yeah.
if given a choice, if say Gurkirat, he had to pick one of Gill or Samson as an opener, who would you pick? Considering conditions, everything.
Gill or
Considering everything.
Samson?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to pick. For in my 11, in my 11, Samson, like I'll never have Samson as an opener purely because I think he's more suited to that number 6 position, and India
But
have
in
a
this
plethora of
situation,
options of opening.
no,
So
but
for
in
me,
this
it's
situation, it's like out of place because you already have your Jadeja or Sundar, whoever is going to bat at number 6, right? So in that case,
Again,
if there is a spot for him, it has to be
who
at the top
who
of the order.
who's Gurkirat Gill is not competing with Abhishek Sharma. It's Shubman Gill. Just want
Yeah,
sorry.
Gurkeet, are you flying a trade for Team India also?
I would have loved for this to be true. I mean, it's much better to be in cricketing conversations rather than be. It's much better to be the subject of cricketing conversations rather than have cricketing
But you bowl
conversations.
spin though. You bowl spin.
Sorry.
I thought you're like, military medium right arm like Colin de Grando.
Yeah. When it comes to bowling, I am like Sachin Tendulkar. कुछ भी डालेगा.
He right arm everything.
Right arm everything.
Right arm everything. जो उस दिन डल जाए जो रिदम में है अगर ऑफ स्पिन डल रही है तो ऑफ स्पिन डाल लेंगे लेग स्पिन डल रही है तो वो डाल लेंगे बट again to answer Akash's question, I want to know who's the other opener because a lot depends on that.
Yeah, that's a question. I don't think we have an answer. But
Yeah,
but I
because
think you both
just on this, as a pair, Shubman and Samson opening together is not a bad call as a pair itself.
Safe.
So-
Is safe. I mean, if Samson does
Short
play, I
Gill.
think he'll replace Kishan, which is natural. But if they insist with the left-hander, if the pair is Kishan and Samson at the top of the order, would you take it?
But has Samson opened in T20s before?
Yeah, he's
One-
played everywhere.
Everywhere.
He's played
He's
everywhere.
almost. Yeah, he's played everywhere. Even with RR, when he used to play at number 3, he used to come in first over, third ball, fourth ball, and he used to
That's quite
smash.
ridiculous. Pranav Anand going on to say India should try out as many Abhishek, Tilak, Rian type of players as possible in T20s and bilaterals because every time World T20 nears, we hear talks of 6 bowler, Kohli wrote for bowling in World T20 2021 warm-ups. I mean,
No,
yeah.
that's
Why he said Deepak Hooda, right?
Deepak Hooda or Washington. Even better. Washington's on the left-hander, can bowl off spin as well.
Abhishek Sharma. I mean, it's still early days for Abhishek,
No, Abhishek
Sharma.
Sharma. See, the thing is, his bowling, I think, still has room for improvement.
Does Tilak bowl?
Yeah,
Tilak
Tilak
Sharma?
bowls. Yeah, he bowled a lot in the domestic season as well. But the thing is, with Washington Sundar, you know that he's going to bowl like a
Proper,
2-3 overs,
yeah.
proper 2-3 overs, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, why not use him at the top of the order? Because these kind of series is going to give him a proper test.
Yeah.
Not proper test, but like at least some test, because that's all the chances you have.
Yeah,
Because we can just say that I'll give somebody 2 series or 3 series, but at the end of the day, you'll only have 3 series before the World Cup, and then there is the World Cup. So you can't try them before the World Cup because then it will be like you can't try them 1 series before the World Cup. Yeah,
So
this is how.
on the subject of Sundar opening, when Sundar was picked by SRH ahead of the 2022 IPL, I really wanted them to open with Sundar because there is immense batting potential with Washington Sundar, especially when it comes to playing.
down now.
Yeah, especially when it comes to playing pace bowling, and this was before he had actually worked on his power game and range, which is required when he's going to bat at number 6 or number 7, right? So if it had not been Abhishek Sharma opening at the other end, I would have liked Washington Sundar to open. And my personal view is that even if SRH open with both Washington Sundar and Abhishek Sharma, it's not a bad call, even though both of them are left-handers, because both have different strengths. Abhishek Sharma is a very good player of spin bowling, and Washington Sundar is a great pace, is a very good player of pace bowling. So to answer, Akash's question, if he's going to, I firstly don't see.
Gone.
I think that's travel for 6, has it? Surely it has. And that kind of just eludes Gaurav Randan Tripaঠি's point over there. Gill started well, but he lacks the power game effect in the team in the last 7 to, and that affects the team in the last 7 to 8 overs. That is where Kohli excels. Kohli's done the same role of Gill, but better. But let's see how it really motors on, because Gill is now kind of going into overdrive. There's still 27 balls of India's innings. So get your comments, get your predictions in the comments below in terms of how much Gill will end up with. How much do you think he'll score? 80?
He'll score a 92,
You
95.
think he can go all the way?
He'll score a
Imagine.
92, 95.
I mean, what?
Probably.
That'll be a sensational start to the year for him. But
Shot.
Oh, he's gone again.
Shot.
6 more. 6
Yeah.
more from Shubman Gill. He's really turning it on now.
I want to know if Nikhil also shares the same observation that I had here. I think after the previous six, Gill realized that the bowler is going to go a little fuller, and
Yeah.
he just took a step backwards and went a little deep into his crease and made it into a overpitch delivery. I, I, that's what I've thought. Watching it on screen, I just want to know if others share the same
Nikhil?
opinion, because this was definitely fuller.
Yeah, and I think it was also like, I mean, it did feel that he was ready for it. Even now, if you see, he knows it's not going to be short, so he's more than happy to be back and just time it, over the fence. So, yep,
No,
80
indeed.
or 48 does look better.
Lots of comments coming in through for Gil. 80 or 48 right now. Subscribe if you guys think this is a sensational 100. Gil 100 in his home ground. Home ground is in
No,
IPL. home
subscribe
ground.
if you think it's a great 100.
Oh.
Subscribe if you if you think Hardik's innings is a cameo. And
Subscribe
But
if you
then
want to see Avnish dancing. Subscribe
comment
if you want to see Avnish video of dancing.
But we'll put that out some point in time in the watch along. But Gurjot and there are a couple of others in the comments, kind of being devil's advocate, guys, about Gurki. I mean, not Wicket, Shubman Gill, that is. In terms of let's not get carried away. It's still early days and that kind of senti and motion. What would you have to say about that? I mean, is it fair?
Yeah, I think we did. Gurukita did address that just a while back. That
Yeah.
he's getting into the frame of T20 setup. So he's got that because of his run of form in the ODI format. So we'll see how that goes along. The one thing that I feel is very common among Indian openers is a lot of them are a lot more boundary hitters as opposed to six hitting. So
Yeah.
what maybe say demarcates Ishan and Gill is there are lesser dot balls with Gill as compared to Ishan. So
Yeah.
that is the thing that separates that. Okay, if Ishan is not getting boundaries, he's getting stuck. That is not the case with Gill. So that's where I think there is a slight edge for Shubman. But again, also we need to be very practical that when the World Cup happens in World Cup, not World Cup in West Indies, not all pitches are going to be easy to time the ball on. So that's where I'm very keen to see how Gill develops that ability to find the gap in the power play. Because
Yeah.
over the last two World Cups, India has almost lost the games in power play itself with the bat. So the bowling has hardly come into the game. So I think that's where the test of time that okay, he's doing well on such kind of decks, but what if he gets a deck like the last one? Because that those are the kind of decks.
Oh, he's going
Oh,
to go
that's a
with it.
great
Another
shot.
six.
Short.
That's brilliant from Shubman Gill. He's motoring on
I,
here.
I want to take this comment. I want to take this comment.
Bas
as-
is taking a slight dig. I think it's like comparing apples and oranges if you compare.
No, I actually said that Tripathi is putting on an exhibition. I said that and I tweeted that, and the next ball Tripathi was out, and everyone said that I was jinxing Tripathi. So some of these things really, I really like Rahul Tripathi, and I was advocating for him even when he was not a part of the squad, because for 3 consecutive seasons he was averaging more than 30 at a strike rate of 150 plus
played,
shot.
man, played. 50 ball 90 now, man. 50 ball 90. Let's see if we can get it up. Brilliant.
no, we've talked about Gill and all of that.
Just
If
one thing.
form this is going to be this terrible, who is India's keeper?
Yeah.
Because that's a question that nobody knows the answer to.
Oh, yeah.
Who will be India's keeper? Is it
In
Samson?
Border Gavaskar Trophy or in T20Is?
No. In
My fault.
T20Is.
Yeah.
In T20Is, but very clear. T20Is.
Yeah, no jinxing. Thanks, Raj.
I
No
think
jinxing.
it will be Samson when he's fit.
Interesting.
Because
Mm.
I also think a lot of people. I think
So what is the pecking order then? If you think Samson's number one, what is the pecking order in T20s?
very difficult to decide, because in New
Nitish
Zealand India
Sharma.
wanted, because in New Zealand India opened with Pant, so it is clear that they still rate his potential and they wanted to try him out as an opener, because they really seem keen to fit him
Yeah.
in the T20I scheme somehow. So, I think with what has happened with Ishan Kishan, because I think it's now been 26 matches for India, and I think somewhere there's also the misconception that he's an aggressive batter, because even in the last IPL, which was played on beautiful tracks of Maharashtra, he had a strike rate of 120,
Yeah.
and his power play strike rate was also around 117, 118, which was also a factor why sometimes Rohit got dismissed in the power play taking high risks. So Kishan not only has to work on his average, but he also has to work on his strike rate. With Gill, people only see the strike rate, but with Kishan, there's also the issue of average.
And rotation. That's a very good point. Because
Sorry.
oh, he's gone again. Okay, I was gonna ask you guys this question in a while, but I'll ask it to you guys now. Where does Shubman Gill?
Don't ask till he scores 100.
No.
He scores 100,
Where is Shubman Gill in terms of six hitting prowess to the other compatriots of his?
I think I still rate him against Pacers. I still rate him very highly.
Okay.
But against spinners, I am saying this from like I've not seen. Okay, maybe Lion and there are a few examples, but not like I have not seen a world class. Against say if he goes up against likes of Rashid Khan or something. That I don't know.
Okay.
No, not Hasaranga. I'm not putting Hasaranga and Rashid Khan.
Okay, Narayan.
Yeah,
Rashid.
I want to see how.
Yeah.
He actually hit Hasaranga in that 2021 IPL. So he did attack Hasaranga, and against Rashid.
No, same bracket as Rashid, Narayan, top tier spinners. Maybe not in second tier. Essentially. So once 20 balls left, 187 for 3. He's a 96. I'm not even going to go to the Shubman Gill conversation right now because everyone's kind of putting the fingers crossed in the comments below, Gary included. I want to ask Nikhil how much he would put in terms of a score prediction right now. 230, 240? Or is that wishful thinking?
228.
That was my number. I was about to say 228.
No. No way.
This is getting to 228. So yeah, 228. I'll stick to that.
I think Cricket.com agrees with you guys. 231.
I mean, that's
13 plus 40. So that's 44 runs in the last 20 balls. Abhinav Gupta saying we still don't know about new grounds in the USA where it'll be majorly played and promoted.
No, if India play, it will be at it will be at Florida. I mean, in Florida only because that's the already tested ground.
Do we have any other like stadiums?
I think they are building a few, but I don't think they play India there. It's like a big risk.
Yeah, no chance.
What if at home only India have these kind of pitches and they come out and absolutely take the trash out of the curators?
Yeah.
So if it is in US, forget. US is never hosting anything.
That's a good question. Do we need someone who can muscle the ball or slow the ball to six it out in the Western Leagues?
Yeah, I think you will need them. You will need that. Of course, it will depend on the surfaces that you play. But whenever if it is slow and not coming onto that, it is power only that's going to get you those boundaries.
Yeah.
So that will be important. But of course, it cannot be that you have a plethora of those hitters only. You will still need those.
Nikhil, think about it. Who are India's Pollards and Davids right now in terms of power muscle hitters? In a whole pool of players.
Samson.
Yeah, that was the first time that was in my mind. I think
it was quite strong.
I would obviously Pant be the first one now, but that's not possible now. So Samson goes there. I think most of them still prefer timing as opposed to power because that's how we've traditionally gone into the kind of
old Pandya.
Yeah, Pandya, I'm very keen on, but I haven't seen him hit spin as much as I would like him to. It's often like it's the one shot and then just the nod around. Like even for Santner, he played that one shot and then he's more than happy to stay down, which is not the case when he was playing Nawaz maybe. But hopefully we can see more of that, more Negis bowling to him so that he can get those hits out because that's something that Hardik is good at. I mean, that's how he came into the fore by hitting a lot of sixes. So I think Samson, I would really want to pair Huda there, but we haven't seen enough of him on the international stage. Otherwise, I think he would have made a very handy choice there. Rest all, I think, are pretty much more timers unless we are missing out on a very common name. Shivam Dubey does hit the ball hard.
No, agreed. Good to come in here because, like, essentially you keep saying that Samson is your finisher, right? Like, in the sense, like, he's a good number 6. Biswajit Das goes on to say, what's the point of playing Huda at 6? He's playing more for his bowling option. Rather have a good pace hitter / finisher at his place at number 6, as I don't think you could really rely on Hardik as a finisher. Does he have a point there, Gurkirat?
He's absolutely right.
Let's watch Gill century first.
Okay. Oh, don't jinx it, Nikhil. Lucky for that is brilliant. Think about he's having a sensational 2023 this man. He's thinking about. He literally thinks about. That's
I actually had a feeling.
54. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, 6 points less than what Gurkirat said.
Yeah, he said a 55 ball.
I'm going to now go and retweet a video which the CDC handle posted on 7 Jan, where I said that, and it's been quoted, Shubman Gill is too good to not succeed in the T20 format. He only needs to show intent. I'm actually now going to quote tweet that.
Okay.
Just
Do
allow me
it.
a moment.
No, do
Please.
it for sure. And
you heard it before.
Gary,
Came on tweet.
absolutely right. What a fucking century indeed. I mean, I would go, and honestly, like if I was there, hey, wanting to watch this in highlights for sure.
Sure.
But whoa, this is the best of the lot, is it? That's whippage for 6 more. And Shubman Gill is showing his fifth gear, all right.
Do we
Because we were just doubting him, or at least
do
having
we
a
have
conversation about it.
Anirudh today? Do we have Anirudh today?
No, we don't. We don't.
Do we have Anirudh? Because I'd be very interested to see.
Late
I'd
last
be.
night.
Oh yeah, he'll be on the flight because
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
very
yeah.
interested. Whosoever is doing the stats, I want to see Shubman's numbers against Lockie Ferguson, because I think he's completely
nobody.
taken apart Lockie
There is
Ferguson.
no one, but we can check it
Both
ourselves in the app. Oh, he's gone downtown again.
Oh.
He's been hella no, he's been top. And it's Chapman who's put him down. But what a 2023, dude. Shubman Gill, a double 100 and now 100 in the T20 international. That's quite brilliant. That's quite brilliant, honestly. And plus, he played bowling basketball the first test.
But finally, what a pitch.
What a
Feels
pitch.
like I'm
Yeah,
watching.
it's going to be extremely hard to leave him out from the BGT.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
By the way, is Gill made this pitch look good? It's just a
No,
general
the pitch
batting
is
that's
really good.
Good, right?
No, the pitch actually feels and looks very good.
Gill for preferred number 5 replacing guy. It's coming, SS98. It's coming. The way he's ball with now. Hardik's not bad. I mean, 12 or 21. Fair enough. That's good, really. Yeah, it's not bad entirely. But dude, like 9.2 overs he's faced Gill. He's at 108. So he's essentially batting around 12 runs per over, which is madness. 228, you guys said. It might be over that. Oh, it really might be over that. He said 8 sixes, Shubman Gill.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what, 7 of them are against pace?
You don't normally associate the Shubman Gill, right?
No, pace is the only.
He was
No, it's
and
6
he
hitting.
was actually he was
That's
actually
oh.
See,
What is this?
see.
Gill was actually 34 of 20 at the end of the power play today, and his
Sorry,
last 50 runs. Gill was actually 34 of 20 at the end of the power play today. He had a strike rate of 170 at the end of the power play, and his last 50 runs, his last 50 runs actually came in 18 balls. He was 51 of 36.
Wow. So essentially,
that's
last
it.
4 runs has just been 33 balls or something like that, 34 balls.
Yeah, I
That's
think that
fine.
is something that's also very common with a lot of ODI. I mean, it's why India had the kind of Rohit, Dhawan, and Virat succeeding, because they had that acceleration that was always very, very good. They would always be able to find wherever they want to hit. Something we talked about Virat having that over gear. So I think that is something that's very common with most of the Indian openers. Once they are set, once they get past 50, they're probably batting on like a completely much more better surface in their mind also, that they're able to pick their spot, because the way Shubman hit those 2 sixes, you don't see him even maybe at times trying that in the power play at times, unless he's gotten himself into the game. So I think
True.
that's just the way they've been playing.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a very good point, because I think Rohit mentioned it as well in that chat show that he had with Jemima and the other Indian female cricketer on that show, where he says, I just feel like if I play 10 overs in an ODIs, he was talking about ODIs, if he plays the first 10 overs in ODIs, he feels that no bowler can get him out, and he can only get up and make a mistake, because I think that's the Indian mentality of like Kohli, Rohit. Now we're seeing it with Gill.
Even
Gaikwad is another good example. Pranav Anand will take your question in the mid-innings break, where we're discussing what's going to happen in the second innings. We'll talk about Shivam Mavi and Umrah Malik, if he's going to be bowling more than 1 over and stuff like that. But keep your comments coming through. Comments. Well, now it's proven that it's international. Hardik and Gill can do no wrong. IPL winners in the IPL ground, you can't really go wrong there. 212-3. Guys, there was one more question I want to ask Nikhil. You didn't tell us this when you joined. Who is your captain and vice captain today?
He's not going to
Hardik.
answer that.
I
Hardik is-
answered it every game. That's Hardik, and I had Surya. But I have
Oh.
Gill in 4-5 teams.
And did you have Gill?
No, next
Of
You
time.
had
course,
Gill,
of course.
right?
Gill,
Oh,
Tripathi,
oh.
both.
If he asks you this question, you just tell him to go and check your Twitter page. Like, go check my Twitter profile there. Everything is there. Go follow me.
So one
Somewhere.
sec, so you had Tripathi, you had Gill, you had Hardik and Surya. So you
Surya.
left out some Kishan.
Yeah, of course. Because I had
Obviously.
Bracewell and I knew he'll take a wicket. So yeah. And I
Okay.
also had Lister, but that's okay. He might end up with
By
one
the way,
wicket.
did
That's
Ben
fine.
listen to mind you Brandon Samsmore or James Stockton?
In between, I think he's perfect in between. Oh,
Oh,
Short.
he's more Shubman Gill. He has the touch and he has the finesse as well. He does it. It's all about no power. And Akash, you got to pass you, man. What? Would you like standing at third man, short third man? Was that Isodi there? I mean, it's a
wow.
joke. It's a joke, guys. 215 to 318.1. India definitely on the way to get
Yeah.
240 plus for the looks of things. Is New Zealand going to make something of this game, guys, or is it just going to be a dead rubber in the second innings?
I just want to see Finn Allen take
They
off and score 30 ball 80.
Oh,
Then
that'll
it'll
be
be
nice.
interesting.
That'll
they
be nice.
they'll have a they'll have a chance if Finn Allen goes well.
Yeah.
Short.
Oh, he's deposited the low full throw.
What
Oh,
a ball shot.
what a honestly nearly
You know,
Akash.
you know, when I felt that that catch is taken, I was going to say that it must be Glenn Phillips because of
Yeah.
the kind of catches he's always taken. But it was a great effort by Bracewell. The crowd
Why?
applauds it as well.
There
Why?
goes my Ben Lister one wicket.
Oh
That's
my god, that would
incredible
have been
effort. That's
a
incredible.
and he's not even left-handed. Well done. 122 record टूट सकता है आज कोहली का. I mean, yeah, you never know. What is the highest T20 international score for by an Indian? 122, is it?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, that is the one.
Yeah.
I think Surya got 117 against England. Hardik now trying to get
One.
Oh, he come back shortly. Oh no.
Oh, you can't.
Can't.
Gill is not going to run.
And Gill is more set. So Gill has pretty much faced half of the innings, 58 balls. I think he'll end up facing a little bit more. And the familiar faces that we always see in the Ahmedabad cricket ground. The man, the legend, the myth.
He's not a myth. Everybody knows him. Fine. He's the most known.
Jay Shah. But by the way, where do you guys how do you guys rate this stadium? Do you like
Jay
it?
Shah's looks.
No, do you like the
9 or
stadium?
10.
Do you like the stadium? Or short?
I mean, I've never
Okay.
been to the comment, so from this, I can't really.
Bro, he's putting on a show here. He could really amass the highest ever score by an Indian in a T20 international. And he could do it with this ball, actually, if he hits another 6. This is almost Kohli level acceleration to Gill from it. Absolutely, Katie. Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, we'd like to see his innings builder and breakdown, and like Gurkhiat was alluding to slightly earlier. If you guys want to check out all those funky stats, the cricket.com live blog is the place to be. Hardik's doing it?
No, I think it's.
Yeah.
Shweta.
Arvind, I do agree with you. The cricket fan in me definitely wants to see that. And 6 more!
Short.
Okay, serving him some pies. Or, I mean, in Gujarat, maybe the Doklas.
I mean,
and the Fafas, but like,
You know,
ridiculous.
just want to say that
And that is
sometimes
officially the highest T20 international score by an Indian, guys.
He's not going to allow you to talk Gurkhirat. He's just
Dude,
going
I'm
to-
just doing what Gurkhirat does to us, giving a taste of his own medicine. Right, Gurkhirat, go on.
if he doesn't allow me to talk, I'm going to make his dance video viral.
You should. You
And
should
it's
already
not
do that.
something it's not something that is going to give him any accolades. Let me put it very clear. It's just the one step.
This is giving him any accolades.
Exactly.
It's just one step, regardless of what song he is, and he doesn't know a single song. Like him dancing reminded me of that Virat Kohli quote in BWC, where he said कि हार्दिक पांड्या के iPod में सारे अंग्रेजी गाने होते हैं, उसे किसी का भी शब्द नहीं आता और सिर्फ इसको हिलते रहना है, बस ऐसे ही. That is Avnish. He might know English songs, but he doesn't know a single Bollywood song.
One second.
Doesn't know a
We can
single
go back
Bollywood
to
song.
cracking jokes upon me, but look at this man in terms of the spin and pace dominance. And he said that
But they haven't really bowled enough spin at him also.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
he was facing.
I've not seen him play that kind of an innings against spin as much as I've seen as a pace. Like pace, I think he's probably 10 out of 10 in India. There's nobody who can play pace. Maybe Samson, but like this level.
Oh, the 19th
Gone.
over specialist, Daniel Mitchell comes into the attack.
Hey, yeah,
Let's
that
make it
is.
straight away. And it doesn't matter
Who would have
because
seen this?
Hardik and Gill comes
Okay,
across. So
I want to say something over here, and that is
yeah,
that
go.
sometimes and even I've been guilty of this. Sometimes we actually, go by numbers and, on the basis of that, make make an opinion that that because the numbers are not good and this player shouldn't be there, etc., etc. uh, I've had that opinion about Shubman Gill when he was selected for the T20I series, because I felt that there were few better people who could have gotten that chance in the squad. But again, innings like today sometimes show you that why sometimes it is okay to look beyond numbers and back talent and skill. And I felt that is what India have been trying to do with Shubman Gill, because they saw him bat in ODIs and they really felt that he could be that next anchor sort of an opener who can accelerate as well and back him. Because uh, when his selection happened, his like I keep saying that his T20, his power play strike rate was on the lower side, and you did think that others could have been selected. But now he's shown that what he's capable of. And Akash is 100% right that among the younger crop or the new crop, there is no one who can play pace as better as him. It's just ridiculous. I mean, a lot of Indian batters will just get overawed by the pace that Lockie Ferguson bowls at. Forget
Hmm.
even smashing him the way Gill has smashed him, and that is something that tells you so much about his batting talent.
Yeah. 120 of 60 played a similar innings against Karnataka too and smacked good job saying. Now can they quickly come after two?
Yeah, it's
Buddha is going to sacrifice himself.
oh
Mitchell misses. And Gill's back on strike. So he goes on 125, 61. By the way, that partnership, guys, just looking at it, 7 overs yielded 103 runs between Hardik and Gill. That's probably one of the fastest ever, third I mean, what
I can only
stand
think
is
of
that?
that Hardik Kohli partnership against England.
Yeah.
Where Kohli was just smashing the. I
Smashing
mean, he
it.
was awkward. That
Which, oh, the
oh, the
2021
yeah
series. Correct.
2021
Yes.
series, pretty similar to that.
For sure. We should not judge someone from this innings, give more chances, but don't judge right away.
Yeah.
In terms of, I think probably like everybody knows about Gill's potential because it's been talked since
Yeah.
I don't know 4 5 years, 4 years now. Everybody knows that against pace he's probably the best. The only question is maybe like the only question being is that his power play game and all of that. Maybe it will improve, but for now that's this thing. For now it's he has to take more pressure because Ishan Kishan is clearly not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
greatest of touch, and you don't have. I mean, you can replace him, but I don't know. Then they'll have to pick another opener, or they have to open with. Uh,
Yeah, and that's too much of chopping and changing. No problem. Let's not forget that he failed in the last few innings. Look, let's not kind of throw the daggers
no,
at
we are
right
not.
now.
I don't think we forgot because we were clearly talking about that.
Right.
Replacement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, once they reviewed this, by the way, they've reviewed this with this 100 by Gill. Hopefully, it's by KL rather than T20. I mean, I love how people have their own opinions about everything. That makes it much more interactive. This platform. Now, was there a little tickle here?
Oh, there was a scene
The seam altered.
change.
Yeah, maybe not. But no, it's
Oh,
way off. So Gill still has 3 balls to probably do a
As
130.
distance, yeah, as much distance as between Gill and the next higher score.
Yep, indeed. So
but what an over from Mitchell.
one over,
What? Oh,
one for
he's
the
saying
over,
one for
one for
the.
the
I was
over.
like, what is this? He's
Yeah.
giving it out.
So 2 balls left.
Brilliant over from Mitchell. Yeah.
What can Gill conjure up in the last 2 balls? India can
A
still
4 through the covers.
mathematically
Left it.
left it.
Brilliant delivery. What?
Oh, what?
Unreal.
Little
Unreal.
Menon, what are you doing? Dan Mitchell can't believe that. Can't believe that. All the 30 people watching, by the way, subscribe to the channel. We're doing plenty more watch-alongs going ahead. We're going to be doing reviews for
no
the
way.
That's harsh.
We're going to be doing watch-alongs for the Women's World Cup, which starts in about 8 days time, 9 days
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So lots of content. Subscribe as well. Good to see you
Like,
guys.
share, subscribe, and please, I don't know what else can we say. Please do it.
Yeah,
So
get
that,
interactive.
yeah,
get
please do
interactive.
it so that we don't have to say it every time.
Okay, so they're going to come back to 2 here. He has to.
No. There's no.
No,
There's
I
no-
don't think so. Oh,
This will serve himself
Oh,
really well. 126 not out. His average will get shooting through the sky as well, which is always good to see. But yeah,
what? Look at that over from Mitchell. Who would have expected out of all
But
bowlers,
he's
he is the
done this
best
before,
bowler.
right?
He's not done.
No, as in like he comes on to bowl the 19th over, the 20th over,
Never.
something like that.
Never.
I can bet he's literally come on in past tournaments for New Zealand and bowled just this. He's not bowling the match, but he's a
No,
specialist
that is
19th over.
Shanaka.
No, even Darryl Mitchell. Hardik, please, Bora, please come in the comments and tell me.
Why would he out of all people come?
Because he's told me this before and we've honestly discussed this as well.
Oh,
And all you guys knowing as well, you guys know better than this guy, obviously, you wouldn't know. The fact that Dal Mitchell's bowled 19th overs in the past.
this is
Superb
20th
over.
over.
Yeah, I mean, 19th, 20th, he bowls like one of those random ones and he comes around the wicket. He's done this in the past. And 1 for 5 in a game where it's 233 for 4, I think he's done that well. Just maybe pull things back a little
I
bit.
think he considered boundary in the last one.
Let's see.
Good ball.
Buddha goes through the covers and there is a man there.
Excellent over.
So just 6 off it, but nevertheless, India 234 for 4 in 20. It's been brilliant fun, especially from Shubman Gill.
200 strike.
So 126 out of 234, so he's scored like quite a bit. But an absolutely amazing knock from Shubman Gill. We can all applaud him in the comments below. What was the best shot for you, Akash?
I think the flick, like say, the one where he's like just.
Oh yeah, that was good. Nikhil, you? The cover drive that he did as well to get off the mark, like his first boundary was stopped off Lister.
Yes, that too. But I also like the short arm to just have a thing for standing there and just doing that and getting a very good 6.
Well, yeah, 100%.
that takes the cake for me.
Gurkirat, India winning this, right? Or do you think that's still early to say? 234, Akash said it was a good pitch. I don't disagree with him, but do you think New Zealand can give us a run for our money?
I do think India 30 odd runs more than par, so they should win this comfortably. But yeah, I'd like Finn Allen to do something and make sure that this is an interesting game because on this kind of a pitch, I wouldn't mind Indian bowling getting tested.
No, agreed.
He's not saying it for the good of the match. He's saying it because Finn Allen plays for RCB. That's his only motive.
No.
He doesn't care about Finn Allen for New Zealand.
No, now he's brought it up, so it's definitely a double reason for sure. 234 for 4 and Phil Allen 100%. Highest totals in T20 international by the way, India and New Zealand. This one is the highest so far, which is good to see. Gurjot Singh saying it was swinging a lot in the power play. Ferguson was seeing it too. Let's see if Hardik comes out and bowls again in the power play. Would you guys throw the ball to Shim Mavi?
I am not throwing the ball. Hardik will not throw the ball. He's going to bowl 2 overs in the power play, then 2 overs at the death.
So Umrah Malik's basically bowled just 1 over in the series.
He'll bowl 1 over, 1 more to do.
Sabi Santosh, good to see you in the comments. What a group of Shubman to be in. Shubman, Rohit, Virat, Suresh, Kia to be scoring hundreds in all 3 formats. So India, partners in future got the staff from Quick Buzz though. What is Quick Buzz? Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
At this point, let's make a sub.
Let's make a sub.
We'll recharge this A battery with another.
Oh my god, I was gonna go, but no, it's fine. Go and come back and then we'll figure it out. I'm going to back New Zealand. I'm going to back New Zealand to win this, says Rajkumar. Drew's going to play a part Indian bowling, etc. Anirudh, talk to me. Shubman Gill.
Yeah, I mean, he proved his worth as a modern classic T20 batter.
But honestly, what impressed you? Was it the fact that he just caught up because Gurkhev was showing us the...
Oh, I mean, there was at one point, I think he was 52 of 38 balls, and I was thinking, okay, this is like the classic anchor opener problem that India were facing when Rahul used to play slowly and when Rohit was not in form, and Kohli does this all the time. But the way he just went on this 6 hitting spree just surprised me. I mean, I'm saying surprised me, even though he did this in the ODIs against Sri Lanka and New Zealand both. But I mean, I was kind of taken aback by how he just went on a mad spree of hitting sixes once he zoned in, and I think that bodes well for India even in T20s, because it just tells you that 200 was not probably a one-off, and we can probably expect more knocks like this from Gill in the future.
Yeah, you're right about that stat, by the way. 38 balls for 52. That means the last 25 balls that he faced in this knock, 74 runs. Bro, that's a strike rate of 300. And some would say, like detractors like Abbas and Chuchant, and you guys know who you guys are, would say that New Zealand bowlers served pies out there, or Doklas in this case. But look, you have to only face what's in front of you, and I think he really took the New Zealand bowling apart. I mean, Nikhil, I mean, it's fair to give Gill due course and credit, right? I mean, due
Yeah,
credit.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But again, I will not mind that result. As I said, take no drop the catch of him. So as we started with that only, that you get your chances, you are not blamed for what others are doing. So he's faced what he has, and he's made the most of it. Uh, others could not.
You
Others
know,
could not.
So,
So does it
this
make
is
it
something.
this
This is
is, yeah,
something.
this makes
Just,
him
just
undoubted in Test cricket, in my opinion. If I'm looking from a BCCI point of view, this is the perfect reason for them to give him a number 5 slot in the
in the first
Nagpur
test?
test, and I
In the
think
first test.
this has sealed his spot for all 4 tests in the border Gavaskar. So
I
that's how BCCI operates. By the way.
And you're not even being a sensationalist,
I'm not
right?
being dumb. I'm just saying that that's the logic in which
Okay.
Indian cricket operates. So
Gukriya, what's your take? Do you think he's undroppable now? I mean, he's
uh,
laughing.
I mean, in ODIs for sure.
Yeah.
In T20s now he'll definitely get an extended run.
yeah,
What I've not understood with the Indian management is by like why haven't they still realized that Gill's not a natural T20 opener, Test match opener. Like you've seen him enough, you've seen that he struggles with the ball coming in, and you know his game against spin is very good for him to make merry when he bats in the middle order. And he can really be someone who can take the game away, especially when he's batting against spin with the softer ball. And the SG ball actually goes soft a lot earlier than a Kukubura ball or the Duke's ball. Like after the 40th over, it really doesn't do as much as what the other balls do. So if Gill bats at number 5 in the absence of Shreyas Iyer, I think it's a great move, and I've been advocating this since the last year when Gill was dropped from the 11 for the Sri Lanka series. That I expected Gill to bat at number 5 in that series, but India went ahead with Shreyas Iyer because what I also see here is that when India travel overseas, especially to countries like South Africa or Australia, Gill with his game against pace is definitely a better and a superior fit, given the evidence that we have in front of us. Yes,
Yeah.
at times he has thrown his wicket away, but like I keep saying with Gill and young batters, that becoming a proper batter is also a process. He's only 22, 23, so he'll get better with time. For me,
Yeah.
India should have always stuck with Gill at number 5 instead of sticking with him as a backup opener in Test matches, because I think at 5 he will not face that issue of the moving ball as much as what he would do if he's opening. Uh, I would definitely start with Gill now that Shreyas is injured, and
And would
yeah,
it? But, I mean, you mentioned at the top of the show, right, where you would probably do what they're doing in ODIs, where bat Rahul at 5 and then you open with Gill
yeah,
and go ahead.
because I think India do need a lot more batting enforcement than playing a better keeper, because like I said, in India, Indian bowlers can create a lot more opportunities than what they do overseas for them to be okay with a one odd opportunity being lost. And it is the same argument that I used to make with Pant ahead of Riddhiman Saha, that if you want a keeper to develop, you want that keeper to play test matches in India and develop, because overseas you anyway don't have to keep as much to spin. You have to account for the movement, which I feel is still easier because there is far more time to collect the ball rather than when you are keeping up to spin and the ball's turning a mile, especially on day 4 and day 5. And it not only turns a mile, it sometimes stays low. You're correcting the ball at your ankles. So if your option is to choose a better batter who can keep rather than a better keeper who can bat, I think in test matches and now with the game is progressing, you need a better batter than a keeper, because people can improve. We have seen that with Pant as well. Even we and Rahul Dravid is someone who can understand this the best, because he did this when this wasn't even the norm, and we have seen even KL Rahul improve as a keeper. So for me, if KL Rahul's fitness is okay, then I don't see it as an idea which should be too far fetched, because KL Rahul has done decently in ODIs. Again, it's white ball and the ball doesn't spin as much and doesn't stay as much. So there's the odd risk, but I think that the risk is worth it.
Okay. Nikhil, do you agree with those points? The fact that, especially looking ahead to the BGT, because that's going to be the talk of the town in the next week or so, what he's done today, the fact that we're lacking Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer and the word intent altogether, it merits Shubman Gill to be played even more. Maybe at number 5 or opening batting, right?
Yeah, I'm just glad I got the chance again. My
Hmm.
answer is same, nothing difference.
नहीं अब ये
Basically,
चेंज हो गया ना ये
Sarfraz.
now we have moved
Yeah,
from Sarfaraz Ahmed to that Rashid Khan one. What did Rashid
Yes,
say in the
yeah,
press conference?
yeah. My answer is same. That's
By the way, Gurkhiat, you asked one of the stats man, and the temporary stats man, I don't know who it is in cricket.com today, but he's pulled out those graphics for you. Gill versus Ferguson in the innings that we just saw 11 balls, 25 runs, 2 4s, 2 6s at a strike rate of over 227. So obviously, he's faced him in the nets before as well.
yeah.
yeah. We had a
So-
net session against Ferguson just a week ago when he scored a double century. So
Yeah,
this him having another net session against Rocky Ferguson.
oh, for
But
sure.
one thing, just coming back to this particular match, one
Hmm.
thing I would like to see today is Shivamami bowling 4 overs,
Yeah,
Arshdeep Singh bowling 4 overs, Umran Malik bowling 4 overs. There is
Yeah.
literally no point in Hardik bowling himself today, because if you again keep saying that we are focused on process, not results, and you Hardik bowls himself, it's contradicting his statement. If you want to improve your team, bilaterals are these kind of bilaterals, and especially when you have scored 235 or whatever on the board,
yeah,
where
right to the
it's
bank.
chance of losing the match is like 5% from here, and you still bowl yourself, it means that there's something wrong, inherently wrong with the way you're approaching bilaterals. Again, I'll say that because India literally so far
Yeah,
on the bowling front have learned nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Across these 2 matches, they have learned
and
absolutely
you mentioned
nothing.
about Chahal thing, right? I mean, why
Exactly,
can't you
yeah.
take them
And
out-
they
take
had a
that
chance
out?
to give some confidence to Chahal. Hardik did not do it. He stopped Chahal from bowling himself and instead bowled himself in a match where we have seen the most number of overs bowled by spinners in any T20I ever among two top 10 teams. So if Hardik doesn't bowl 12 overs of Mavi, Arshdeep and Umran today, I don't know really if this series
What's his
will
thinking?
even be any will it be worth it, because what Mavi has bowled like what five overs in this series. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know first why Mavi is playing in the first place, but
Mavi's
playing-
not, I mean, he was just picked for the Sri Lanka series, so they've just gone with that whole
and
trade.
see, playing Mavi itself is a baffling decision in my opinion.
Yeah.
Playing him and
And-
not bowling him is like even more baffling. So at least if you're gonna play him, give him the opportunity to succeed or fail so that we'll know what to do with him going forward. Now we are just winning matches, but at what cost and
Yeah, it doesn't
what's
make
the
sense.
ultimate point of winning these matches other
Let's see,
than
yeah, because let's see, India have a lot of bowling things to take, like Anirudh said. Nathan, by the way, yeah, we can give you some info about KS Bharat's batting in tests. His Ranji performances are all right. I mean, I'm guessing the fact that now, if I check out the cricket.com app, which is very fast, 86 first class games, 4,700 runs at an average of 38, striking under 60. So he's pretty much like the modern day Ridhaman Saha. I'd put him in the same sort of category.
yeah,
Where
I mean,
he's a better keeper.
he's like probably a Ben Folks kind of a
Ben Folks.
yeah. I mean, he's more of a
Josh De Silva.
keeper than a
Josh De Silva?
batter, but his batting has been on the rise
Yeah,
the
maybe.
last 3 years. So,
just
but
just to sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt,
yeah.
just to add on the Shivamami bit before I take a break. He's going to take a
Oh,
3
sure.
so let's keep an eye on that. If he bowls 4 overs, that is.
No worries. Are you going to take a little break and then join us again?
Yes.
Okay, super. Super. So we'll see Nikhil then. Gurkhiat will stick around with you, right? Or are you going to take dinner break as well?
No, I'm here.
Okay, okay. So let's see how Finn Allen goes about it. Because look, you were saying and Akash was saying that they want Finn Allen fireworks. I want Finn Allen fireworks as well, because it just makes this watchalong all the more interesting. Because 235, like Anirudh said, is lots of runs in the bank. Let's see who is going to be opening the bowling with Arshdeep from the other end, because I know essentially Hardik would love to bowl because it's swinging. We saw Ben Lister swing it around, but just give the ball to Shivam Mavi. Otherwise, why play the lad? And
Yep.
essentially, we have Mavi, Umran Malik.
oh, it's Hardik taking the
Oh
new
my
ball.
God.
Ridiculous. I mean, I'm saying even if Hardik takes
We were
eight-
just seeing Arshdeep though. I don't know how Hardik's done this.
even if Hardik takes 8 for 25 in this match, I don't think this is a good move.
8 for 25.
Because again, they keep saying that bilaterals, we will experiment. You know, this is about
Ooh, first ball.
process, not result. Process, not result.
Yeah.
Where is the process? Come on.
It's insane. It's honestly insane.
Yep.
By the way, what have you guys ordered for dinner? Have you guys
Not yet.
not yet? Order your
10
dinners.
15 minutes.
And we'll figure it out. Rukia, what are you eating after all the Amritsar food, bro? The stuffed
Let's-
kulchas,
let's
maza
start.
aa gaya, bhai.
Please tell me what all you had in
Bro.
Amritsar, and tell me what like was the best dish you had. Because,
Bro, I just think
yeah.
Amritsar has the
He wants
best
to go.
60 rupee breakfast in the world.
And what did you have for
And that's
breakfast?
a stuffed kulcha and like that chana kulche. And
You eat that for breakfast?
bro, it's so good. I
So
can't
you have
even
to
tell
explain.
you.
You have to explain people because I'm not so sure how many of them watching really know what a kulcha is over here. It's not the bread kulcha that you get. Let me make it very clear. The bread kulcha is very different, which you get tagged. This is this is this is called a kulcha because it's made like a parantha, but it has more maida. So it's basically a stuffed parantha, but it has more maida, and it's made in the tandoor. It's not made on a tawa, and it comes it's to be it's to be eaten with chole, the safed chole, not the kale chole, and a bit of onion and vinegar, along with butter, of course. So it's
Sorry, don't people know this in India that the tandoor is literally the tool used to make kulchas, or am I just living under a rock? Like that's a no-brainer, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure if everyone in South India would know.
100%. What do you mean?
I mean, it's a fair enough assumption that not everyone
Okay,
know, but
Ashwini talks saying Amritsar ke hote hai asli
So-
kulche
so
ke
Actually,
shop.
Ashwini is from Punjab, so he knows, and that's why he's saying that.
Tell me what is the difference between okay, I'll ask Avnish this because like chole you eat here and you ate in Amritsar as well. So what is the how better it is in Amritsar?
Bro, let
On a
me
scale of 1 to 10, if Bangalore chole you have is like 5, 6, and how much is
then the Amritsari chole is like some 10,010. I'm not even joking. Like if you go to a posh 5-star North Indian restaurant in Bangalore, and no offense, I love Bangalore, but like they can't match the consistency and the sheer taste. Like
and it's consistent across places, not
and
just
bro,
one
and
or
it's
two
just
places,
those
saying.
traditional North Indian dishes that we're so used to eating here on a normal staple diet, like rajma, chole. You even talk about like
Dal makhani.
dal, which is just mad. Like the sarson ka saag was just
Also,
going
butter chicken, butter chicken in Amritsar is not sweet. It's
and
not
butter
sweet,
chicken is not sweet. It's literally
and
like
that's how it's supposed to be.
it's too good.
And
So I
Man,
took
you would have enjoyed it. You would have
Yeah,
enjoyed it
I-
100%.
I
And it's
took these
over
guys.
spicy. It's too good.
I took these guys to a very small place. It's quite famous in Amritsar. It's by the name of Charming Chicken, and we had a chicken very similar to what you get in KFC. I think it's better than KFC. I don't know what Avnish thinks because
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
I
I loved how crisp it was, but my winner for that day, I told you, was the malai kebab, bro. I mean, the
yeah, the
malai
malai
tikka
tikka,
was
the
too
chicken
good.
malai tikka.
It was eggs, they're gone.
Thank
What a
you.
catch that is! That reminded me of like Suresh Raina and Slip, and India get the first wicket, and Hardik's 8 for 25 is definitely happening, Anirudh. It's definitely happening. Lassi 2 is a banger, by the way, in the sense we had the namkeen lassi in the last day, and Gurkiyat was literally kind of spooning out the heavy bits of the malai, which is top. Bro, everything that I ate in this trip was world class. We definitely missed you boys in terms of the food, because obviously you guys love your paneer. Akash is a huge vegetarian person himself. Rajkumar saying Anand Sweets Chole were 2 days the closest for Bangaloreans. Yeah, but imagine that 10,000 times, Anand. I mean, Raj. But yeah, it's nuts.
Anand sweets. Yeah.
Anand Sweets. It's all very.
And you know, I want to explain how that malai tikka was. So in many places that you go to, even in Delhi,
Yeah.
uh, the malai tikka which has the cream, it usually has the cream which you get the Amul cream. It's the
Yeah.
packed cream. But the
Yeah.
difference at that restaurant was that they made that cream themselves. They made it
Fair.
from the malai that you get from the milk, and you know the way they marinated it. A lot of places when they make the chicken malai tikka is uh, the taste of the chicken. Sometimes, a lot of times, the flavor of the cream doesn't really go into the chicken. It doesn't really go into the meat, right? It has to be marinated properly. And if you have eaten a lot of malai tikka at different places, you are able to understand that when it has been marinated properly and when it hasn't been marinated properly and it's just been put into that cream. So the difference was when we ate
Actually,
it
before you continue your masterclass about Malai Tikka, I need to go eat something right now. And Akash is patiently waiting. He's so much so that he's literally sat down. I don't want to make him do that. I'll be back in literally about 10-15 minutes. I'll just go quickly get a coffee and then be back. Order your food, guys, because I think it's going to be an early night. No Fit Allen fireworks. 4 for 1, and Akash will take my space, and I'll be back in 15 minutes. But Wicket, go on with your food scene because I think people are enjoying it
More than the match.
more than the match. And now that Finn Allen's out,
More
which
than
is
the series.
fun.
Not
Okay,
the
do you
match.
have any dish suggestions for Chandigarh? Like what to eat in Chandigarh?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a non-vegetarian, then you should definitely eat the non-veg food there, especially chicken. But I am not not really sure of the great places in Chandigarh. But
What
I
about Chole Bhature and all? Like, is it good in Chandigarh? Is it famous in Chandigarh or
sorry.
Chole Bhature and stuff like that? Is it famous in Chandigarh or not? Not
Ye-
really.
I do think that in Delhi you get better chole bhature, but they'd be good in Chandigarh also.
Got it.
So is
So,
that on your mind?
yeah,
You have to eat chole bhature.
I mean, yeah, like, I am a big
Oh
Chole
God.
Bhature fan, and that's two down, and Conway chips it straight to the fielder at mid off, and Arshdeep strikes first ball. So
What a night
yeah,
for Indian bowlers.
early finish on the cards, like Avni said, on this wicket with Dew around. Oh, New Zealand, what are you doing?
You know, worst thing is you have to write. Now I have to go and write a Gill feature. I want Indian bowlers to do well so that I can write about them.
But I mean, the loose shot, I don't know, the ball got stuck on the wicket or something. He was trying to hit it on the up and just ended up scooping it straight to Pandya. So a second wicket for India, and they are probably already
Bowling.
they've already won the series, I guess, already, unless Glenn Phillips scores 140 or something.
Or Brazil.
Or they, so I mean, it's. I mean, basically, when you're chasing 235, you need to be flawless. You have to have a good power play.
Hmm.
You have to take on the bowlers in the middle overs, and it's the kind of start that England showed when they chased 160 out against India. Like they were like 140 for no loss in 13 overs or something like that. So you need to have such a start when you're chasing 230 to give yourself a bit
chance,
of
yeah.
a cushion, in case it comes to that. With 4 for 2, I mean, you basically have to turn into Bracewell and Santner from that day to come anywhere near the total.
Actually doing Shoaib Akhtar. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and speaking of England, Josh Butler and Malan scored centuries, and England recovered from 15 for 3 to score 340 for 7.
Hmm.
I think it's 345, if I'm not wrong. Let me just. Yeah, 346 for 7.
And he's gone
So
again.
Malan scored
Ooh.
118, Butler scored 131, and Moeen for once has found form in ODI cricket. He has backed up the 50 he scored the other day with a 23 ball 41. So for the second time, kinda England have recovered well and posted a very
Only
good
for
total.
South Africa to chase it in 46 overs.
Yeah, we'll see that. Debba Bauma will go back to back and score back to back runs. And for those who have not been following this particular match, there is no Quinton de Kock today. He has been rested as.
He's been no, I don't.
I mean,
think
yeah,
he's
I mean,
fit.
he sustained a blow to
Yeah.
his finger, and he had to go off the field in the second ODI, so he's been rested for this. And Riza Hendricks is opening instead of Quinton de Kock.
Wow, he's
And
been
I mean, like that's it. I guess the Klassen is playing. Klassen played the last match as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so not a surprise. And I think South Africa will back themselves to
What
chase
a
it down.
catch. Hmm.
We'll have to see. But interesting to see how Jofra fares today, because on his comeback, he was bashed. I think he went for 81 of his 10 overs, and that's probably his most expensive spell in ODIs ever. So
It'll be interesting if Jofra bowls there and Imran bowls here at the
yeah,
same
but
time.
Imran is easily going to outpace Jofra Archer. So. And Jofra Archer himself said that he's only 80% fit
80%
right
fit,
now.
yeah.
So coming back to this particular match,
And
Steve,
she was bowled
after probably months, has started a spell well. Wicket ...
will be
No
a wicket.
extras thus far. No waiting for 18 overs to bowl 1 over. He's actually got the new ball, and he's actually avoided bowling extras, and he actually started well, bowling 3 dots and a wicket. So yeah, I mean, perfect time to bring in Shivam Mavi using Gurkirat now that Hardik has taken a wicket also.
He will only bowl.
But he won't.
He should,
he,
right? No, he
he,
won't.
he wasn't. I keep going back to this, and I hate to say this every time, but uh, in the last IPL, when there is enough evidence that Shami struggles at the death and you need to bowl his overs in the power play, There were times when Hardik was bowling 3 overs and Shami was bowling 2 overs in the power play. And then when Hardik was bowling 2 overs in the power play, he also wanted to bowl at the death. And he did that in the first T20I as well. He had bowled his 2 overs. There was no need for him to come and bowl his third over in the 17th over. And he went for runs. His first 2 overs went for 16 and his third over went for 17. So ideally you would want Mavi to bowl, but I'm not so sure if Hardik would do that. I think what he'd look to do is probably try and get. See, I don't have issues with his new ball bowling. I think there's actually value and he's worked on it. But then how do you try and see what the younger or inexperienced players have to offer if you are going to keep taking the ball yourself? Oh
What?
God!
He's gone. Okay. Nearly a double wicket.
So
made.
it's revenge for India, 5 for 3, but just 3 years too late. But
And in a
and in the bilateral,
yeah.
they're taking revenge. But yeah, coming back to the topic, yeah, see this, right? Like Ashdeep has taken 2 wickets already, and it's a great confidence booster for him after a rough few games. Imagine if Shivam Mavi can do the same as well. It will be good for both India and him going forward. The thing is, nobody is doubting Hardik's ability with the new ball anymore. I know, Gurkirat knows that Hardik Pandya, the new ball bowler, is
Can swing it both ways.
solid power play bowler. He can easily give you 2 overs with the new ball, and he's probably better in the power play than he is in any other phase. So I can totally understand any
The
team
power
he
play,
plays
yeah.
for. But that being said, I think Hardik can do that probably when India plays a full strength team, or maybe in 1 or 2 matches in a series. That's fine. But bowling himself 2 overs in a power play every match in a series where you're not even building up to the World Cup, you're just trying out players.
Yeah.
You're trying to see who will fit in, who is a good option going forward, who can do what in which phase and everything. And if you pick people like Shivam Mavi, who's been plugged out of the blue really in the last couple of months, drafted in the national team, picked as a starter, and if you're going to not give him overs up front, it's just,
Oh, Hardik.
you
with
know,
the second
I,
over.
I don't know what the thinking is. It's again just racking up results and trading. The trade-off is that you lose
Process.
the process. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but
Process.
Viswajit goes on to ask, so what's the role of Mavi as a bowler decides? He's gonna bowl most of the death, but see, that's the irony. The Mavi is known for his new ball bowling.
If
Even
you
with
don't
KKR, his best spells have all come when he's kind of
Swung the
swung the
ball,
ball
yeah.
into the right-hander. Like he has that very good nip backer, which goes through the gate of the right-handers a lot, and sometimes traps the
front,
left-hander.
yeah.
Not traps, leaves the left-hander and catches the outside edge. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we have seen Mavi bowl with the new ball since that spell he bowled against Sri Lanka, where he took a
No, even the
couple of
next game he
wickets.
did bowl. No, he got hit in the next game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so what?
This series we have not seen.
Yeah, so if we have to evaluate, so Gurkirat, if we have to evaluate Mavi the bowler from these two series, there's not a lot you can draw a conclusion, right?
There
You can't-
isn't enough sample space.
Yeah,
There isn't enough sample space.
And it's just reducing by the.
yeah. I
moment.
mean, it's even same with
You
Umrah.
were mentioning something. You were mentioning something about India not knowing anything with what they any takeaways with the ball from the first T20I. I don't think any takeaways can be taken from the last T20I because anyone who could roll their arm could have done well on that pitch. But I do think that the way Washington bowled in that first T20I,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
something which is a positive. And I've been observing this that since the beginning of 2022, when he made his comeback to the ODI side and played that ODI series versus West Indies, he's now tried to become more of a conventional spinner rather than being a dart specialist that he was before. He's tried to bowl slower. He's tried to make sure that he can beat the batter in the air through his dip, and I think that's a very heartening sign for India. And it's not just happened in that one game. It happened even in New Zealand when India were playing those ODIs and T20s there. And I think his bowling has been a positive. And the way Kuldeep also bowled in that first game, I thought it was a good sign.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, maybe I should have been more specific and mentioned pacers
In
because
in the pace bowling department, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Because Umran has bowled just the one over.
Yeah, I mean,
and then-
this is the same case with Umran as well. I mean, with Umran, it's probably you can extend formats, even in ODIs, right? He's been drawn.
It's
Oh,
the same catch.
No,
my goodness. This is even better than the first one.
Wow.
I thought it
carbon
was a
copy.
replay.
Yeah, I thought
Bloody hell,
carbon
Surya.
copy.
What the hell? And that brings to an
I
end
actually
probably.
thought it was a replay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and
it's
that
only fitting that Phillips gets out this way. He
oh,
knows how it.
and that brings to end probably the worst 3-match stretch in Glenn Phillips's entire career. I
I
think.
thought in T20I history.
I mean, it's a horrendous series for Phillips, a forgettable one. But oh man, that was
Oh,
traveling,
what a
and that is.
catch.
And can Shaunak please display that comment? This is perfect timing. Someone just
Yeah,
commented
yeah.
we should
He's
pick
put it
Surya Kumar
in the BGT just for his slip catching.
exactly, and he just pulls off this comment. I mean, this is just Rajkumar being a foreteller here.
No, he said it after the first catch.
First catch, but
Yeah,
the timing
yes,
was so perfect that that is just absurd. I mean, that's Sky for you. He did not quite impact the. I mean, he did score 24 of 12 balls, which you would take any day from your number 4, but he probably didn't match his usual Sky standards. As in, he didn't score
The Sky
85
standard.
of 36 or whatever. But again, look here, he is plucking out of thin air, literally.
This reminded me of that Suresh Raina catch in IPL. CSK against KKR, I think, where he
Yeah.
it was a pretty similar catch.
Yeah, I mean, I
Rainas.
think Avneesh also pointed to that.
That
And he's
it was
done
a-
it twice. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done it twice now, which is absolutely utterly ridiculous. So this match is done and dusted. It is done for good. And, 7 for 4, and we are into the third over.
So what are we
Guys,
going to
can I
talk?
just take a break?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gurkha,
sure.
please
go ahead.
take your time.
Yeah.
And hopefully, by the time you return, the match will still be going on, because at this rate, it feels like New Zealand are en route to a 35 all out or something. So let's see. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
7 for
that's,
4. What do we talk about?
what do we talk about? I mean, we talked about food, and despite talking about kulcha for 10 minutes, and Gurkhet giving his explanation on how that
What is
Malai kebab was made, we've still not even bowled 18 balls yet, and New Zealand have already lost 4 wickets. The game is already done and dusted.
And Surya Kumar is the one who's been pointed here.
So yeah, Rahul says this is bilateral series, and we rule here as a New Zealand. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, why would
Shot.
but is this going straight to the fielder?
6.
It isn't. But why would any Indian fan get excited after seeing this? Because year after 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 year, this happens.
Yeah.
So guys, I mean, we can just have a laugh that well played. It's like, and then yep.
Red Bull. Yeah,
Perfect
very
guy.
true.
Yeah, he's got the wings now. He's flying. So perfect advert for Red Bull. And his nickname itself is Sky, right? So
Yeah.
Sky is always flying.
And Shittil goes on to say Bracewell is yet to come.
Did
Yeah.
he just hit a
It's
6?
like, he hit the 6.
Yeah.
It's like saying best is yet to come, but if by then you are 14 for 4,
Yeah,
then
it is like how I mean, there was a penalty shootout, right, in which Neymar didn't
Yeah,
really take
yeah,
the penalty. Brazil, it's like that.
Croatia. What's the reason for Kishan not even trying to attack the bowlers, just trying to play dots? I don't think he's not trying to attack, he's just unable to attack because
Maybe I think it's a combination of probably his mindset and technique.
and
because
form at the moment.
this is not
more than
a
anything.
recent phenomenon, because you can go all the way back to IPL 2021. Pitching outside leg. You can go all the way back to IPL 2021, and since then, Kishan has been struggling with this. I think that those minefields in Chennai did something to him. After that, he's not been the same.
Are they going to go upstairs? The question, they have gone upstairs.
I mean,
They've gone
that's
upstairs.
just Hardik taking the piss, I think, because that's clearly pitching miles down the leg side. But
Good to know.
this kind of reviews also contribute to late finishes, and and then we'll have to stay back for longer. But
You don't have a choice anyway.
yeah, but
You will see the same score.
yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, that's pitching
It's
way
not
down
out
the
either
side,
way.
I mean. Just don't ask for hotspot. Just go. Ultra. Just go to.
Can we rock and roll? Can we
Just
have
go
a
to
side on vision?
Yeah, just go to DRS state. Just go to ball tracking state. Oh man, yeah. India should be dogged points for this review. So bad.
Let's try to wrap the innings before 36.
Yeah.
Don't end it on 36, otherwise there is one person on Twitter who will tweet about this.
But you know what's gonna happen, right? Williamson will come back, Bolt will come back, Saudi will come back, and New Zealand will suddenly cause an upset in the first match of the World Cup, and everything will be fine again. But this is T20 format, right? Again, so it doesn't really.
No, they are using it properly, right? Because they are not available, and they have now tested out all the players. I mean,
The guy
including the
who
bowlers.
got an outside was Chapman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean another
Failure
for Chapman, and he's also in the midst of a very, very bad run. So New Zealand are kind of scrambling for number 3 batters in the absence of Williamson, I think.
Flying Surya.
Pranav goes on to say, just like how I felt Gill missed out when he was dismissed cheaply on those of his Ranchi and Lucknow. Because he can bat on bowling pitches, I think New Zealand has backed Allen to come good chasing targets like this.
True.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
It's again, if you go back all the way back to that Australia match again, in Sydney in the World Cup, he has had like 3 good knocks in like probably 12 to 15 innings.
Yeah, 12 innings.
Ireland, he was good. I mean, Australia, he was good. Ireland, he was good. He scored 34 of 20 odd, I think. And the first match against India in this series, he was good. But apart from that, it's been a complete miss for Finn Allen. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and nobody knows if New Zealand have any alternatives for Finn Allen. Name not Martin Guptill. And I'm sure they won't go back to Guptill because that would be a step backward.
Or they won't open with Phillips.
Maybe they can open with Mitchell again. I don't know. But
yeah, Mitchell.
But
again, he won't offer you like a.
The upside of Finn Allen is so delicious that it's like you just don't want to kind of move away from him because of a few failures. But now the failures are stacking to rack up. More so in probably ODIs than T20Is. But yeah, I mean in T20Is also, even for a player like Finn Allen who's high risk, high reward, I feel like three matches of success in 15 innings is not good enough.
Yeah, definitely not good enough.
He needs to show more consistency. So
and we know who is showing consistency. Surya Kumar Yadav, 2 catches in the same match.
Yeah, and I mean, like, see, Bracewell has been pretty good in this too.
It's Mavi. Yeah, he'll probably.
Good question.
I think I from what I've seen, I think next over will be Mavi.
Next over will be Mavi, you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, Hardik is definitely not bowling 3.
Yeah, it'll be utterly ridiculous if Hardik bowls 3 because there is absolutely no reason
why he should bowl
for him to bowl 3. So
good over again from Arshdeep.
Good over from Arshdeep, and can he finish off well?
Oh, down the leg.
Yeah. This was probably closer than the one they reviewed early on. But finally, a good start from Arshdeep after 3 or 4 rough matches. So, good news.
On the agendas, will start that we got Gill, so no need of Kohli. Only to realize he's gonna still save us as Pakistan.
Yeah, I mean, not just Gill. Rahul Tripathi is also there, right? He's the one gunning for Kohli's spot right now. So yeah, but I mean, this was very nice.
So they'll end up opening with Kohli. Come the World Cup, they'll end up opening with Kohli and Rohit.
Right?
No, Rohit and Kohli. And then number 3 is Tripathi.
Yeah, but I feel
short. Gone. There's nobody.
Damn. Close. We could have had another wicket and another early end, but guys, the moment of truth is Shivam Mavi going to get the ball, or is Hardik going to bowl himself again, or is Sundar going to bowl, or it's going to be Kuldeep or Chahal?
Chahal is not there, no?
You see, Kuldeep has been all over Mitchell in this tour, so
he can.
Kuldeep can bowl. Umran is also there. Not forget, but yeah, give Mavi. It's a power play, and he can. Even if there's a bit of movement left, he can extract it.
Oh,
So,
fear of
that-
the
Shall I stay out because 4 wickets clearly have fallen, lads.
I'll just
You
take
guys are the lucky
yeah.
charm.
I'll just take a chota break.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you ordered? No.
No,
I have
not yet.
ordered. I don't think.
What did
I
you
don't know
order?
what it is. I don't know. Something.
Papu.
No.
Are
No.
you a Kulchi fan, by the way? We're hearing a conversation. You're a Kulchi fan.
I did hear it.
But,
Oh, Imran gets an odd over.
so 1 second. So, Hardik Pandya bowled 2 and then Archie
Yeah.
bowled 2.
Actually, bowled.
Okay, fantastic. Rahul Singh, good to see a new person in the comments. Hardik Pandya gives Gulbazir Naik vibes. एक का एक दिन बुरवाएगा में मैच में bowling करके में bowler के आगे.
No, main bowler kya?
Yeah, main bowler के आगे. I mean, but do you think Hardik Pandya gives himself the ball because he honestly thinks that like there's no other phase where he can bowl?
No, it's more like no. I mean, like in the power play, true. But I'm saying it's more like Hardik Pandya feels the need to take more responsibility, and he's trying to do everything.
Yes,
Like he's trying to bowl in the power play, he's trying to bowl in the middle overs, he's trying to bowl in the death, he's trying to finish games, he's trying to be an anchor, he's trying to. I mean, there's only a few things that you can do.
Yeah.
Even Dhoni, right? He never pretended to be everything.
Yeah,
He
correct.
knew his weakness, and when it was, I mean,
But
like,
why do you think that is? I mean, it's good points you mentioned. Is it because I'm captain now and I want to just deliver for my
the
team?
thing is, pressure is high,
Hmm.
and given how he knows the value of playing for India, right?
Yeah.
And the years he missed, he doesn't.
Oh, bowling!
Top of
5 down. Honestly, early finish, lads. Let's go home. Brilliant. This is what I love sometimes. The BCCI, dare I say, fixed bilaterals. But look at how things are unfolding. It's a joke.
That's why I think like Hardik has missed so much, right? So
Yeah.
he feels like he has to do everything and he has to be part of everything.
But how do you judge him as a T20?
But I don't judge him like Gulbin Naib
You
because
can't.
Naib has better. Yes, exactly. He has
Guns
better-
in it. Guns. But Hardik's a decent.
So Hardik has better roses.
I mean,
Guns and roses.
Guns and roses. Aries Stark, Gill is looking like 2016 version of Kohli, just 23.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can he
shades
score
of it.
400s in 1 year or 600? How much did he score?
400s.
Yeah, 400s. Yeah. If
And-
he can do that, and he can.
But in that
single-handedly win
2016,
games.
which Kohli did you like the best? The Test Kohli, the
No, he's
T20
talking about
Kohli?
that Kohli, I think.
The IPL Kohli.
Kohli.
The IPL Kohli was ridiculous. 973 runs, hitting
Yeah.
hundreds for fun. It was a joke, honestly. But subscribe. I think that's a new person in the comments. Or we've seen
Yes.
Aries Stark before.
I don't think. If you're a new, please subscribe. If you're old, please let a friend know and then subscribe. Let them. I mean, ask them to subscribe.
Yeah, I think also I did see your dad in the comments below in
Yeah.
the first innings. I didn't know.
No,
I'm sorry,
second
uncle,
innings.
if we did not take care of
Second
questions.
innings. No, we did take.
Oh,
No.
we did.
Yeah.
So it's good to
About
know.
Sky Red
What
Bull.
about Sky?
Yeah.
Dude, next week's gonna be epic. Gonna be good old Test cricket again.
Good old Test cricket.
Man, I love that. All the stuff that we were watching in this Jan period is filth, bro. I mean, what do you like that you've seen so far in the last 1 month of 2023? Was it SA20? Was it
Oh, I like
Sri Lanka? Even I like SA20 out of all. of
SA20
them.
is nice.
Was it what is that? International the UAE?
ILT20. ILT20.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's Robert Uthappa still tearing it up and stuff, but like,
Not tearing it up. Tore
Andy
it up.
Russell's like in that thing, and he was bowling the other day, and he was getting clobbered with someone else.
Who was that? Someone else. Wait, let's ask Avnish. the
Zainullah Gurbaz,
And
and you know this, Akash. Help me out
no,
here.
that's
man.
right. It's not even good buzz, so I'm not helping.
What do you mean Gurbaz
It's
did
not
take?
good buzz.
Was it? Who else was it then?
Come on.
Man, there's so much of cricket, guys.
Come
Help
on.
me out here. I'm a very old subscriber. I'm sorry, Aris. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Help me out here. Who is it?
Come on. BJ.
Oh,
And you're right with the country, but you're wrong with the person.
oh, Zaza?
Najibullah.
Oh, Najib.
He's given it.
He's given it.
21 for
Nitin
6. Okay.
Nitin Menon wants an early finish here, and so do I, and so does Akash.
I think he's reviewed it. Has not reviewed it yet. Oh,
Now
he's
he
reviewed it.
has. I think he's just delaying time over there. 21 for 6, dude.
Wow.
Are you Bangladesh? Are you Bangladesh? Are you Bangladesh in disguise?
What
Are
is
you
Bangladesh do to
Bangladesh
you?
in? I mean, the only Bangladesh can be 6 for 21.
No, even India can
You can. Can't.
come to the
Can't.
crucial games.
Because that Umran Malik hairstyle, by the way. I mean, Shahid Thakur was shocking, but Has he got a little tickle?
Yeah, no, I think it's the t-shirt.
Daylight. Looks like daylight from here.
Looks like the t-shirt.
Looks
I mean
like
the
t-shirt as
jersey,
well.
whatever.
Maybe not.
See, it's the jersey.
It is the jersey. I mean, what do you even do if you're a batsman right now, Akash? If you play for New Zealand right
Just
now?
close your eyes and try to hit it.
No, would you play for runs and like do what
No,
Dhoni
just-
does? Take the game till 20th over and then
See, it's
do
not.
it with
There's
pride.
nothing on Ultra Edge.
Nitin
Absolutely
Menon
nothing.
wants an early dinner, bro. Like the finger went up before him that Imran Malik appealed.
This Ultra Edge is like people saying that let's go downstairs. There's some breeze going on, and one leaf is also not moving. It's exactly that. I know
Yeah, Nitin Menon, I'm sorry. Just take it back. Honestly, take it back.
he's given a wide.
He has to give a wide now. Does
Good
he?
decision.
A good decision, sure. I mean, you can never trust Ishan Kishan behind the stumps, given the fact that he did what he did to Latham earlier on this tour, which is quite shocking, by the way.
And the bespectacled.
Ooh, Santa. The other day I was having a drink with Shub
course.
at a certain wedding, and he was like, bro,
At a certain wedding,
भाई Mitchell Santner जो है Daniel Vittori का vibes देता है. And I was like, who right now do you think is a better batsman? Daniel Vittori is still a better batsman than Mitchell Santner, right?
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like Santner still
Maybe
has a while
in
ago.
T20Is, I don't know.
Mm.
But in like across formats, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Santner is a very good T20 batter.
Has
I
he
mean, a
played a
T20
test?
batter. He's played.
He's played a test.
Yeah, you don't remember that the famous catch, the one-hand catch.
Oh yeah.
Pakistan, I think.
That was in UAE. In UAE. Sabi Santosh was saying New Zealand is trying to survive for a draw from the way they're playing currently, apart from the scorecard pressure and all. I mean, they had a brilliant chance to go 2-0 up.
There's a reason they are current world test champions.
Yeah. And nothing else, pretty much. But New Zealand, I mean, they've just not turned up in the store. I mean, yeah, sure, like that ODI series was just shocking, but even the T20 series, we saw them in the first T20 and we were like, okay, fine, they finally arrived. And again, they've just blown so cold today, it's just shocking. What are the positives for New Zealand? I mean, are there any?
Yeah,
Finn
there is-
Allen hasn't worked.
No, there is positives. Early flight. They can go back home.
Early flight.
No, but like jokes apart, I think Bracewell's form is probably a very good point.
Did they
Dan
use this
Mitchell's form
tour
is again
to
a good
experiment all these spaces that we've seen?
Yeah, they did because I think
Tickner, Shipley. Shipley was in Pakistan. But
was it after the first T20 or something? I think one of Santner or the coach came out and said that. I think Latham said it after the ODI series that we are trying out players because we know that given Bolt is not going to play, Southey is not going to play, Williamson is vested. So we wanted to try out these options because we don't want to go into a World Cup not knowing who the reserves are going to be. And they're safe to say they have done well on that aspect. They now know that none of them are good.
But you think still, right? Bolt and Saudi?
Yeah, I think they'll still play. Yeah, of course.
For sure.
They're the best bowlers. Imagine this. Bolt has not played ODI cricket in a long time.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, he's still the number one ODI bowler.
Exactly. So
Only for Siraj to take over.
Pick of the wickets for you, Akash? They're showing it now. Ooh.
I think this one.
That was a good
From a bowler's perspective.
Oh, he's done
this
it
is the
again?
best. Yeah.
It was like deja vu.
Yeah.
Literally. Umran Malik.
Top of off.
Umran Malik.
He's saying very serious, like top of off. Well, hit the top of off.
Literally. Since Shreyas is out, go back to that one, Sharon. Go back to that one, then we'll take Sahil. Since Shreyas is out of the first test, should Gill bat at 5 or
I'd love to see Gill bat at 5. But going by how they would replace Iyer for like to like, I think it'll be Sky because he likes to take on spin.
So that means who
So-
miss out? Gill misses
There's
out.
no, Gill is anyway not going to bat at number 5.
Ooh.
In that,
In that regard.
yeah, I'm saying like in terms of if they have to replace somebody with Iyer who has the potential to play spin very well, I think it'll be Sky.
Okay. Or
And
they won't have a recency bias, you feel. Or 200 he hit, 100 he hit
No,
versus
it's like-
tournament.
I just feel that they shouldn't have.
Because obviously now
Because
KL's made vice captain, so he'll definitely play. Rohit will play because he's captain. The question is, where will Gill bat if Gill fits in?
Yeah, that's why I feel Sky maybe has an edge because Sky again.
And he
plays at
brings
number
intent.
five, right? No, he plays at number 5.
Plays at number
And
5.
naturally, I mean, Gill is naturally more suited to middle order, but maybe at 3.
Yeah,
It'll be
because if you
interesting.
think
If
about it.
Gill does actually play at 3, India would have a top order of Rahul, Rohit, Gill.
Mhm.
I'm saying if there's no Pujara, Kohli. till the time.
I
he gets
mean,
dropped.
unpopular opinion, but I think randomly left field choice, I'd pick Washington Sundar at 5.
He's not in the squad.
I know, which is a tragedy.
No, it's not a tragedy because this.
But would you do that?
Yeah, I would definitely pick him.
Because of this whole thing? Why like throw Sky and suddenly?
That's not.
Hello guys, Solid Q. It's been a long time to see you as well.
Solid low Q, right?
Solid look Q. Does anyone know when the concept of vice captain came out first?
Whenever people decided there's going to be assistant to the
That's a good question. Maybe-
assistant to the regional manager, it's pretty much that. It's
There's never been vice
No,
captaincy in football, right?
yeah, there is no.
Really?
Barcelona have 4 captains.
But that's the leaders of the dressing room.
Yeah, that's still 4 captains. So
No, but like on the
that-
team
no.
sheet, they won't have brackets WC. Like how we see
They don't have.
obviously.
But they know, no, that's in football. It makes more sense because their players going to be rested and all that.
Yeah.
But in cricket, yeah, we still not figured out. Just be like Australia. Just have a group of players. You're saying that
Leadership group.
this is the leadership group. That's it.
Vice captain, I mean, it's a good question. Maybe in the 80s, my guess. Maybe even beyond
90s, 80s, 90s.
that. Just see. Oh, look at the Bale fly. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. It's almost like Jofra Archer in Cardiff. If you guys know,
but the ball went for a 6.
ball went for the 6. Also, whoever's on stats at the CDC headquarters, which is literally in the next couple of doors, let us know if this is the worst ever New Zealand score in their T20 international history in a power play.
No.
No? Worse?
Okay, in terms of wickets, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the two main pacers, one playing in the series,
Yeah, for sure. That's what we
Bolt
said.
and
And they've kind of
Saudi.
tested short
Oh,
one.
can he track back? No, he
No, he
can't.
can't.
Oh, he's
6.
gone for 6. It's gone for 6.
What?
Okay, certainly
Shot.
that's taken the power play score definitely out of
What a
equation. So Darren Mitchell just being the saving grace, he bowled that 90
That's why I said no. It's so he'll be one of the positives, big positive. No, I mean like Bracewell, and it's not just Bracewell's batting. It's also think about it. Whenever he's bowled in the power play, he's bowled really well, and he's
Yeah.
got a wicket in all the 3 T20s.
True.
So it's like he can bowl and can actually bowl well. So it's like they know that. See, imagine New Zealand's best team.
Yeah.
It'll have 1, 2,
So
3.
their best team, 3
four.
people are missing right now, right? Both Saudi Williamson.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
So
So
that
think of the bowling options they'll have.
yeah. And that means I think we're all talking
You wanna
about
just-
we're all talking about oh, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
eat.
Akash will take a little break and then come back and
This
Anil
team
has
looks
got his
integrated.
food.
Integrated without.
This team looks integrated without KL Rahul for some reason. They should break it and bring him back. I mean, hopefully, marriage kind of helps KL Rahul unearth another version of KL Rahul. But let's just pick up that chat.
What, he's gonna bring a child to the world or like what?
Just the fact that hopefully Lady Luck now plays a role in his
In bringing
2.0 version.
in bringing a
Child to the side. Okay, just to pick up that conversation in New Zealand, we can keep talking about India's options in the West Indies surfaces and all that. We've seen what New Zealand done in Pakistan and India of late, and they've unearthed Bracewell, obviously Phillips bowls, Sodhi and Santner would definitely be there. Chapman we saw bowl in Lucknow.
Yeah.
That's a making of a really good team for those surfaces, or do you not see it that way?
It does. I mean, if you think about it, it does. New Zealand's pacers have been pretty woeful in this tour.
But is that just an experiment gone wrong? They're resting Saudi, resting Bolt. I know Tickner's been bad. Shipley went for
Ferguson has
runs.
been terrible.
Ferguson's been terrible.
Whole tour. I mean,
Who's that
not
third
just-
pacer? Like in T20? So Ferguson.
Third pacer is Lockie Ferguson. Yeah, I mean, Adam Milne is injured.
Oh, Milne's
Adam
injured as
Milne is
well.
back.
Correct.
So probably Milne will walk into the team right away if once he's fit. But that's been his biggest challenge. He's not been able to just
True.
maintain his fitness. He's just been going
See,
down.
Jacob Duffy was not that good. Blair Tickner, came back not that good. Shipley
Yeah.
played just an ODI in Pakistan.
No, I mean, he did play against India also.
Oh, he played against India as well.
Yeah.
And then who's the other guy? Today, Ben Lister.
Yeah, no, all look very okay. Not
All right.
Nobody looks special.
No one looks kind of a world beater, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Mark Henry's on the T20 international scheme of things.
Matt Henry, not Mark.
Oh, Mark. Sorry, not the big Mark Henry, but Matt Henry, yeah. Who actually has a really good
Man,
high
I mean,
action.
in ODIs he will be. T20, I don't know.
Yeah. You want to take that?
That's why Williams on the T20 team and people are questioning. I mean, I think, right now it feels like have to be joking if you say that Williamson doesn't deserve to be New Zealand's.
But what is his
side.
better T20 trait? Batting or captaincy?
I have to say, I mean, the guy has reached a semi-final and a final as captain, and he has a 19 with the bat as captain as well. So I
That
don't
is
know,
true.
it's tough to choose.
That is
But
true.
he's indispensable. That's what we've learned, I guess. Especially if Mark Chapman is going to be a replacement.
Mm. Mm.
He's not an upgrade. He's a
Definitely
clear
not.
downgrade on Williamson.
Yeah.
So in the case of when we say Williamson should be dropped from X IPL team, Y IPL team,
Yeah.
it is because there are perhaps better alternatives available.
Mm.
That's why we're saying. For example, when he was playing for SRH last year, Glenn Phillips was sitting in the bench.
Yeah.
So Glenn Phillips was an alternative available to SRH. There was Puran, there was Markram, and I think Williamson was playing as the third overseas batter. And
Yeah.
you had Glenn Phillips sitting on the bench, and this year SRH have got rid of Williamson, but yeah, Gujarat have him.
Yeah. Oh, that's also like worth
Something to
mentioning.
keep an eye on. But it feels like Williamson is slowly but surely getting back to not I would say his best, but form at least, because we saw that Pakistan ODI series where he batted really well, the India ODI series where he batted well.
I think the Pakistan series you batted on,
Yeah.
you mentioned it, and on that tricky pitch as well. We were asking, of course, our stats guy, who's not Anirudh today because he's returning
Is
from
it
Delhi.
Shweta or Akash?
I think it's Shweta or maybe Akash who just went in. And this was New Zealand's third worst score on the power play. In 2010, they had scored 75 against Sri Lanka and Pakistan in the power play. So, yeah, I mean, this was what, 13 years ago? So, technically, New
13
Zealand.
years ago. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a while away. But yeah, just finishing up this New Zealand chat, the fact that Finn Allen as well.
Yeah.
I know they've taken a big punt on him and it's big shoes to fill in terms of Martin Guptill, right? Because Guptill had such a good T20 record. He's obviously great T20 pedigree. Finn Allen is a project will eventually come good, you feel?
New Zealand will have to hope so, but of course I'm sure that New Zealand are a side that gives plenty of time for their incumbents to succeed. I mean, we've seen Henry Nichols is still.
But why is that? Because they don't have the luxury and of the player pool that we have, or
I mean, that's surely one of the reasons, and I don't know. I think that's how New Zealand cricket operates in general.
yeah,
It's just that I think that's how once you
Longer
get in,
rope.
it's very difficult to get out. I mean, that's the only reason why Henry Nichols is still playing both ODI and Test cricket.
Mm.
I think if you have to consider how senior a batter he is and compare it with his returns, I don't think he's done justice at all.
yeah,
But still, he's in the ODI and Test setup only because how New Zealand cricket operates. So I'm sure if New Zealand have decided that Finn Allen is their next opener, they will probably at least give him a year and a half before moving on from him.
for sure. And plus, like, there's no one else of his ilk right now. I mean, I know he's kind of played a couple of good innings, which I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably Seifert is the only other
Seifert
guy I
is
can
another
think
one.
of, but he's not as explosive as Allen. But again, Seifert is not a bad alternative. If Allen continues to not make impact, then yeah, I mean, Seifert is probably a good option you can fall back on. Speaking of
Falling
Seifert, his former KKR
lad.
teammate Kuldeep is into the attack.
And Kuldeep, I mean, honestly, shouldn't they just give the ball to Shivam Mavi right now?
He's not got over yet.
No, like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then why, like, even do this to me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of baffled, but
And yeah, it's a good batting surface. I just think India probably exploited the conditions with the new ball more. I know that Ben Lister was getting a lot of swing, but like it was play and miss. But India, I think we've been spot on. I think Hardik bowling the first two with Arshdeep, that was always this thing. Shweta Haranali is a statistician for today. Thanks, Shonak, for
I
that.
highly doubt though.
And hi, Shweta. Nice to see you. Oh, not see you, but
Yeah.
from you.
And I highly doubt if this was a highly doubt if this was a 100 and I don't think this was a 235 wicket as well. Yeah, 200 probably, but India definitely have scored way above. I mean,
But was that the brilliance of Gill or just shocking bowling?
probably a bit of both, I would say.
But which one do you tend to choose
I mean, you
more?
have to give it to Gill. You don't. I mean, this is India's highest ever individual score.
Oh, fair. Oh my god, one second. My food deliveries come. Hello? First floor, please. Left side. Brigade Local Center. For all you guys querying the address now that I've given away, just coming in 1 minute, boss. Thank you. Just third world problems, I guess. Eddie Stark saying, what do you think of RCB's ad for 130 kilometers? Seems pretty unreal.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was going to get stumped there for a second, and he's timed this well for 6, is it? Yes, you
Did you, by
betcha.
the way, Mitchell Santner?
Oh, Mitchell Santner. Well
Mitchell
done.
Santner.
For the WIPL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unrealistic. Surely, I mean, if with what RCB have done, picking Avinash Singh, right? I mean, they plugged him out of nowhere. He wasn't even bowling with the cricket ball until they scouted him. So, if they can find someone like him, I think there's a good chance that even if they find one,
like an Umrah Malik story, basically.
yeah, even if they find one or not even two, even if they find one bowler in the Women's Premier League who can clock 130, and I'm sure they have the resources to mold that particular player into a useful utility. Probably not immediately, at least 1 or 2 seasons down the line.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, you can go on creative food.
I'm gonna quickly just come back and not leave Anirudh in the deep end.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you are asking me that question, I think it's I mean, you have to be ambitious, right, with these kind of projects. So it's good to see RCB being ambitious, and if they get a bowler who bowls that fast, 130, which is a very uncommon pace, you can say, in at the women's level, it's great for them. But even if they can find someone who bowls fast, just not 130, even if they can find someone who bowls more than 123, 124 consistently, it's a massive win for RCB. So hopefully they do.
Have they announced the dates of the women's IPL?
Not yet. They're speculating it'll be early March to early April.
That should be honestly a great watch. And I don't know if we'll be able to watch along for everything, but we'll pick and choose. It'll be honestly like great fun.
Probably the first match in the final or something like that.
Oh, indeed. And the fact that we're doing watch alongs to the Women's World Cup, it starts in 9 days' time. So Shweta will be there, there'll be Vaishali, there'll be lots of other women's cricket experts. We'll pop in from time to time. And we're going to be doing only the India games, so tune in for that. If you're just waking up or if you're just tuning in to our watch along, it's 234 for 4 is what India got after batting first, winning the toss, of course. And New Zealand, in reply, have just been like a cat on a Sunday afternoon purring away. 50 for 5, 8 overs gone. Sometimes we honestly question our jobs in terms of why do we do bilateral watch alongs.
And he's here.
And he's finally here, Shubman Gill. I mean, 6 matches, 5 wickets. I mean, I know it's still early days for him, but he's at least getting to do what he does, which is bowl, not just like...
Yeah, and he starts off with a gentle 128.5 kilometer per hour, military medium speed.
If you had to choose a player and your life depends on it, and the 2 players are Shivam Mavi and Shardul Thakur, who are you choosing in T20?
Bowling or batting?
No, just as a player. You're just taking a
I'll
punt.
pick Shardul.
For sure.
I'll pick Shardul, yeah.
Not Shivam Mavi.
Because I don't know, he's done his
Is
magic.
Shivam Mavi the unpolished Shardul Thakur? The diamond in the rough. I mean, Venki Mysore, the KKR guy, just kept backing him after
And then they released him.
And then they released him,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of cricketer is he? Is he the Chris Wokes ilk?
I mean, I think, overestimating his batting at the moment. I mean, it has potential, but a long way to go. Just because you hit 2 sixes of Kasun Rajit, that doesn't mean that you're suddenly an all-rounder.
Is he better than Chamika Karuratne?
No, he's not.
No, right?
Shamik has won matches in Australia for Sri Lanka. So, no. Let's see. I mean, he's probably a specialist bowler who can hit sixes. He is probably somewhere...
Is
I'd
he
say
like
he's
a
like
Sisanda Magala?
Rabada, maybe.
Or Rabada?
Maybe a Rabada. I mean, he's probably not at Rabada's level yet as a batter, but I see him as a Rabada.
But is there honestly like some sort of thinking behind, I mean, with Shivam Mavi being in the T20 internationals, or?
I feel that's the only thing. They are looking for a guy. They are looking for, like how RCB are looking for, women who can bowl 130 plus. India are looking for bowlers who can bat. And if you're a bowler who can bat, this is the best time to be an Indian because you just are going to get picked in the starting.
So how many do we have of
Shardul Deepak Chahar.
Shardul Deepak
Now
Chahar.
it's this guy.
This chap
Bhuvi to
who
an
he
extent.
used to be. There was another guy.
There is this guy also now. Kuldeep is also batting a bit. So Kuldeep.
The way Kuldeep bowls deliveries after he gets spanked for 6, it's ridiculous. Like he just channelizes in our sleep,
Well,
right?
let's just check the
Which is mad.
South Africa score.
Oh yeah, there's England South Africa going on as well. So keep yourself updated in terms of all the cricketing scores.
South Africa are 62 for 2 and
Chasing.
Archer.
Oh, Satna pulls and straight to the man.
Oh,
Surya Kumar
he
Yadav.
can do no wrong today, right?
Balancing act. Brilliant. 1 6. So South Africa 62 for 2 chasing.
347, and Archer has just got the big wicket of Van Dusen for just 5.
Oh my god.
So
Van Dusen just 5 with
and
no DI.
Baguma also departed for 35 of 27 by the way.
And he's got 100 in the last game.
Yeah, and Riza's batting right now.
So might not be a whitewash, but something for England to celebrate on. I just don't understand how they paused the SA20. Like it's just bizarre. Like that would never happen in any other thing. But coming back to what's happening in Ahmedabad right now, New Zealand are capitulating in front of our eyes, 53 for 6. And Shivam Mavi's got a wicket, guys. Shivam Mavi.
Yeah, this is what happens when you bowl Mavi, is it?
And sometimes when you look back at these matches, you won't really think, oh yeah, Shivam Mavi, look at him, 4 for
I
22.
mean, he's well inside, right? I don't think it's a problem.
You would have definitely felt something. And Mitch Santner knows it. And he departs now. And it's coming crashing down for New Zealand. India, of course, who do they take on next? Australia. That's going to be fucking fierce. Going to be a brilliant watch. Portugal Basket Trophy. You can guys let us know what you guys want us to do then. What we've planned is basically do reviews after every day because there's so much to talk about. That first test in Nagpur, I think, might just go straight as well.
No, I can't. I mean, now that reports have emerged that Cameron Green is not fit enough to bowl for the first test.
So who will they bowl? Agar?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big blow because it means that
just bowl or just like...
Cameron Green is fit enough to bat, but he's not going to bowl. So it's a big blow because then Australia have to field 2 specialist seamers. You know, in the other case, you could have fielded 2 spinners and
most probably it'll be Cummins and Hazelwood because Starks do that.
Yeah. It'll be Cummins, Hazelwood, Lyon and Agar, I think.
With Head also
the question is, wait, let's
that's a lot of heavy lifting for Cummins and
let's just
Hazelwood.
look at Australia starting line actually. Warner Khwaja opening, Abhishek at 3, Smith at 4, Travis Head at 5, Green at 6, Carey at 7, Cummins at 8, Hazelwood at 9, Lyon at 10,
and Agar
at 11. I mean, Agar will be obviously up the order, higher up the order.
But if it's not Agar, who is it? Will they pick?
Yeah, I think it'll be Agar. I have a feeling it will be Agar.
Or would you be surprised they pick the man that you interviewed?
Todd Murphy. I mean, I'd be surprised, very surprised, especially if they pick him as a second spinner. Although if the wicket is a Bunsen burner, they could pick.
Has
Murphy
Australia fielded a leg spinner in a test in India since when?
Cameron White.
Swepson? No.
But I have a feeling that Swepson is not the third spinner in their mind and it is Todd Murphy. So I think so, yeah. I think the accuracy Murphy offers once again trumps the package offered by Swepson. But Agar was not really great or accurate in the South Africa match. So
no, I mean in terms of the whole package, Agar for sure because he'll have to like battle a little bit as well.
Of course, yeah.
That's a goal! Another one! This is sensational. It's about 9:40 and I was hoping for like a 10 o'clock finish and we're getting our wishes come true on a Wednesday. And it's the first of the month, so we're literally loaded in terms of salaries. I was joking. But point being, 53 for 7, guys. Like this is just a ridiculous scene right now. India might be tottering on to their biggest ever win in T20.
Yeah, they already registered the biggest ever win in ODIs just a couple of weeks back.
Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
And now it's
ODI. Now it's
catching practice for Rahul Tripathi at point. So Shubman Mavi just come in.
It's an ex-KKR.
So that means Mavi will play for the next
combo.
T20
It's
series.
ex-KKR, bold ex-KKR, caught ex-KKR.
Oh, for sure. Okay, let me ask you this. So we've seen 60 T20 internationals this year that India played, 3 against Sri Lanka, 3 against T20. 3 against New Zealand, 3 against T20 internationals. Out of which players would you want to see continue the run in the T20 internationals because it's inconsequential format this year? Would it be someone like Mavi, Would you pick Gill
I'll pick
regardless?
3 names right away.
Okay,
Rahul Tripathi is one.
agree.
Kuldeep is one, and I would say Shubman Gill is one.
Okay.
3. Yeah.
What about Mavi?
I don't have an opinion on Mavi. Like, what can we judge from what we have seen?
He's got a
so
2 for his first over.
So,
And
I mean,
people won't
fine. I
remember
mean, at least
You
the
might
thing is,
have
if you're
to get a
going,
three
if you
for-
think Mavi is good enough, just bowl him, right? Like, don't hold him back till the 9th over and let him take the wicket off just tail end. It's
True.
pointless.
What about Umran Malik?
Yeah.
Because
Pranav
he's anyway
goes
not
on.
even.
Oh,
involved in
Umran
the-
for sure. I'll fourth is Umran. Umran is one I would love to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So Pranav says they
Go
want
by
to
that
three
chat,
spinners. McDonald has said that, so it'll be more supers. Yeah. Okay, then I think
Cummins
you're right.
says it will.
Travis Head will be the third spinner of sorts. And
Cummins
meanwhile,
says
I'll
it.
just pick my
Yeah, for sure.
four.
But yeah, I think honestly it'll be 2+2, like you say, Pranav. It'll be interesting to see how Australia go about their third choice. I know Labuschane's been bowling as well, but Travis Head, he can really spin it. Me and Akash and Anil spoke about it the last time as well. There, he gives it a good rip. And knowing how India and their susceptibilities towards spin, it's a little dodgy. So I wouldn't want to be in that position. Now, Hardik Pandya has come back in the attack. 2 for Hardik, remember, 2 for Arshdeep and 2 for Mavi last over. So the Pacers have really come to the fore. Not to forget Umran. So all wickets falling to pace in Ahmedabad this evening, at least from an Indian perspective. It's going to be shocking because right now, I essentially feel that New Zealand should just throw the kitchen sink at it and let all of us go home. But like they're going to be playing for slightly longer right now. But it's also a good amount of confidence that Shivam Mavi can get with these 2 wickets. I know the game's already wrapped up and it's all crucial and it's not bowling in pressure situations, but he'll still do his numbers good and probably just extend his little stint with the Indian cricket team in the T20 internationals heading into the next one. I don't know when we play the next T20 international series, by the way. Now that I asked myself that, I think it might be the West Indies, but I might be wrong because we have the Border Trophy. Then we do have Australia and the ODIs. Then the IPL starts. Then the World Test Championship. And then I think we go to West Indies for a limited over leg. So I was basically asking myself and the viewers, when do we play our next international T20 series? I mean, India.
I have no idea.
West Indies? I think so, maybe. Nikhil's back. Good to see Nikhil as ever. Nikhil, what's happening? Dude, they're following like cycles in a cycle stand.
I told you Mavi will take 3. He's taken 2 already.
No. Please tell me why Hardik is bowling himself.
Yeah, why?
Other
Dude,
than
like,
start padding, what is the reason for him to
Seriously.
bowl right now?
I mean, is he picked himself in a fantasy team that he wants to deliver points for himself? That's
Like,
the only reason.
Sundar bowled yet? He hasn't, right?
No.
Sundar's in the 11, obviously. Sundar has not bowled yet.
Bro, this is right. We pick bowlers to not do their job, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Nikhil, wait, I'll just get your thoughts. Tripathi, Shaw, Samson, for me, and 3 players who would love to see him being back this year.
Yeah.
And another one! Another one!
Stat padding.
Hardik gets 3. And I'm telling you, Hardik Pandya is captain not just of this team India, but of his own fantasy 11, because there's no other reason why he would be bowling right
Will he
now.
call Hardik stat pad here?
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I think we had a
yeah.
I think we had a lot of discussion in the second game as well on the same thing, that you're not learning anything if you're giving the ball again to the same guys who've been continuously doing well. Now Shivam Mavi again is Sundar is an afterthought, I think, in the squad only. It's like you only get him even in the ODIs. I think he once came on in the 29th over. You are not giving the best resource, the best possible usage of that resource. So again, the thing is, people don't see it in the current scenario that okay, it's working, but the point is you're not preparing yourself for anything else in the future. There is absolutely no need for Hardik to be bowling now. It's not that we don't want him to take wickets. He can take hundreds of those. Take 10 wickets in T20I. I don't mind that. But what is a Shivam Mavi learning? How are you going to use Sundar? If not now, then when? So again, maybe it's the logic that there is hardly anything for them to do. But then why else are they playing? So it
No,
just
true.
feels
I mean,
weird.
even that odd over of just throwing it to Kuldeep when pretty much 8 out of 8 wickets have been fallen to pace. So just stick with that. At least give Arshdeep and Mavi a proper thing because Arshdeep, I don't think is going to be involved in the ODI scheme of things this year. So is Umran. So these guys literally are waiting for these chances to like be like, okay, fine, please let us like do something with it, right?
Yeah, and I think Sundar is a vital player from an ODI setup as well. I think if you now, yes, Jaddu is back and fitness permitting, he will definitely walk into the side. But you have to have players ready and enough opportunities. You just can't pick them and hope that they'll come good. I
Yeah.
think a very good example to me personally is the Bangladesh game that Mehdi Hassan took away. Now,
Ah,
those are the kind of games where you will learn a lot more about the players had they got enough chances. So these
correct.
are the games where you can try stuff, you can see what is working, not working. So when those kind of things happen, that you've over attacked with your pacers to close the game, but then it's the lesser skilled bowlers you have to bowl. That's where all this experience will come handy. So I think
Hmm.
it's they're not thinking too much into the future, which is again I don't know, maybe just
Yeah, I mean, it's often that same complaint that we make about selectors not being far-sighted. And I know at times we look at, say, this year, 2023, and all the eyeballs is going to be the ODI World Cup. Obviously, the WTC which precedes that. And that's why
yeah.
T20 has become on the back burner. And then someone like a Tripathi, even if he has a really good run, like the comments were saying in the first innings, right? A Kohli and Rohit get a really good 600, 700 run season, and those boys again take the backseat, which is sad. And that's how Indian cricket will always function, which is horrible. Now, Hardik can get a fiver, no, he can't. For the second authority. I mean, technically, he still can. But no
Yeah, I mean,
chance.
he's gonna definitely bowl out and he's gonna aim for the
That's just
fifer.
greedy as a captain, bro. The game's in the bag, they need 180 runs more to win. Just throw it to the other guys, dude. You anyway have a
This
decent
is
record.
yeah, this is where you'd bowl all I mean, why that is the kind of situation you have to I don't know. Let's see who bowls from the other end.
Okay, let's see if he can finish it off with another to his name right now. Shot ball. Oh, Dal Mitchell's still there, so he's literally holding fourth, which is quite ridiculous. Do you want to go
I'm
eat
just
it out?
hoping Mavi bowls out, yeah.
So
Hopefully, I'll
fortunately-
never return again.
yeah.
This is all. You can't take a break.
It's all right. It's an early finish. Hardik Pandya is listening to us. He wants to
Yeah.
eat all the wickets, let alone dinner.
I think we are rotating the strike more than New Zealand.
Because I thought you were going to say more than Ishan Kishan, which is also a
Wow. Yeah.
fair point. Me and Anirudh were talking about. And we have another
yeah.
man.
We have a square now. 4 people.
You're insane. Guys, you should sit in the car with Gurkira driving and listening to all songs. It's like Sidhu Moosewala.
Okay, wait, 1 second. Genuinely, from all the songs he played, what are the few songs that you remember?
Bewafa.
That is not Sidhu Moosewala.
Not at all,
Okay.
not at all. But I'm just saying Sidhu Moosewala vibes.
Okay.
Bewafa was one. Then lots of Sukhbir songs, lots of
No.
Diljit songs.
You're just naming like all the singers you know.
Sardar Boy. Oh my god, he introduced me to this song called Sardar Boy, which is like Star Boy, but like fully done. Like obviously you guys must have heard it.
Mhm.
I was like noted. Shuk told me about the Guki told me about it. I was like, dude, it's like a similar Star Boy beat,
I'll-
but some.
I'll tell you which song this is. This is a video done by TVF. It goes by the name Dilli De Sardar Boys. It came out in 2017. A lot of people would have watched it. And I explained him that song, that what the lyrics are there. And I didn't play a single Sidhu Moosewala song. I played Satinder Sartaaj. I played Jazzy B. I played Imran Khan. I played Diljit Dosanjh. But it wasn't
Imran
Sidhu
Khan-
Moosewala.
Imran Khan clearly is the only thing he remembers.
Imran Khan is
Yeah.
amplifier.
Amplifier, yeah.
Oh, he's gone down the ground. Alan Mitchell as he held out.
6.
He's allowed in the crowd. No, he's not allowed in the crowd. Oh, by the way, this is a good question from Nitin. Whose role is it to tell Hardik not to bowl?
I know, Hardik. Audience.
Is it Paris Bombay? Is it Dravid? Is it Ishan
Nobody.
Kishan? No one.
Nobody.
There's no
See, here's the thing. Even if the coaches tell him to give the bowling, but if at the end of the day him at the ground is taking that decision, then you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but I feel sad for Umran, Arshdeep, and Shivam Mavi because like those three are essentially not in the any other formats to be fair, and then T20s are literally the only time they can grab their chances.
More importantly,
Hardik even worse than that, because Hardik's going to be so important for us for the ODI World Cup and all these other tournaments ahead.
more importantly, my issue with Hardik over bowling himself is that if he gets injured, then it
Yeah,
really spoils the issue with the team. And it happened even in the IPL as well. First 4 or 5 games he bowled his
yeah, it
quota of
was. Yeah.
overs. Next 4 games he didn't bowl at all, which meant that uh, Gujarat had to play another pacer, which was Yash Dayal, and in few games it was even Pradeep Sangwan because Hardik was not.
Mm.
And then when he started bowling again,
No, but guys, dare I say so? If Hardik just gets injured in one of these inconsequential overs that he's bowling, and he's out for 6 months, then people will just point fingers at his captaincy and be like, "Dude, this is your
Yeah.
wrong."
We are anyway pointing fingers. I mean, like it's not like
You, you. It's
no.
you.
I mean, with what has happened in Indian cricket, this is something which is more predictable than anything else. So why would you want to do it?
True.
Yeah. I mean, the only bowler you will not want to get injured for bowling inconsequential right now is Hardik Pandya. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if he does that himself, I don't. Again, we can't blame anyone else if something untoward happens.
No, for sure. Nitin going on to say again in the comments or ask, do you think the match fitness of Virat is a lesson to the younger players? Man rarely misses a game due to the injury.
Yeah.
But we just generally talk about anyone, right?
No,
Like,
two things. One is match fitness. Second is game awareness.
Hmm.
There is,
Yeah.
I don't think there is any cricketer who like at least Gill is, but apart from that, no one has that game awareness that Kohli has.
like for example,
Like for example, if you look at Kishan, right?
yeah,
He is not looking to rotate the strike, but he's just trying to hit every delivery, which is not wrong.
yeah,
But if it doesn't pay off, you have to pay the repercussions for it, right? So that kind of thing. Like Kohli, if he scores a boundary, he
Hmm.
knows he has to, or just if he doesn't even score a boundary, he knows that if there's a weak fielder there,
Hmm.
he'll hit there and he'll run to.
Correct.
He'll keep running to till that fielder actually feels the pressure and starts like misfielding. It has happened in the past. So
And
these kind of
invariably,
things.
he's also saving a little bit more gas in the tank for later, and he's not like really exerting himself. Like sometimes we say that with Shaw, right, where he just goes so hard in the first 5-10 overs.
No, but for sure it works.
It works.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like for somebody like Ishan Kishan,
Ishan
right?
Kishan, yeah.
From this team, at least, he can't rotate strike.
Hmm.
That's something that he has to improve because there are going to be games where the pitch is not going to be easy and you can just like hit sixes and fours. On those days, rotating strikes, those 1-2 runs, we've seen it a lot in T20s that 1-2 runs often end up costing teams.
Yeah.
So
No, but
that's what
is that also? I mean, sometimes fitness is really underrated in terms of general sport, right? Like Virat is a good example to cite in cricket. I think Dhoni as well. Like I don't think he had like injuries. And then football, you can obviously say Messi, Ronaldo. To
Yeah,
play
I
for
mean-
that 15 years, like when has Messi ever been ruled out for 3 months or 2 months?
I mean, he's been, but
But
that's
not
like
that
a
often, bro.
external challenge. But
External
yeah,
challenge
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
See,
you guys agree with it?
Good, Kiran?
see, uh, I don't think it's fair because cricket that way is a different sport because depending upon what your role is, even if you are say not fit by the usual athlete standards, you can still do the job because it's
Hmm.
not a sport that requires you to continuously run around,
Yeah.
continuously have that. Because sports like hockey, football, tennis, basketball, they
Badminton.
really, yeah, they really take the gas out of you in terms of fitness. So cricket that way is a different sport. It's a sport that really allows you to put up your feet and wait in the dressing room. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if there is any other sport, but uh, given the this point that Virat's, of course Virat's fitness was something, but uh, while he may not have gotten physically unfit or physically injured, by his own admission, the amount of cricket that he played, it cooked him mentally, right?
Hmm.
So when we talk of fitness, we also have to address the mental aspect of it. That is one. Coming to Shaw, uh, yeah, he has fitness issues because we saw that in the IPL batting post the 10th or the 11th over mark, he used to struggle to run, and it's not just about running. When you get tired, or when if you don't have the required endurance, uh, you start losing shape in your shots because
Hmm.
your body is telling you that you can't you know bat with the same amount of concentration, etc., etc., which happens with us as well. When we are getting physically tired, our concentration also gets affected. So fitness is important, definitely. And I do believe that batting 20 overs at a stretch, even in this format, shouldn't really be a difficult issue. Because if that
But
is becoming
winning
an
the
issue,
game, the demands surely can't. But 20 overs is just like very little, right? Compared to all the yesteryear's books and how they used to do it out there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you any batter that comes in, you can sort of say, okay, maybe if he's not that fit enough, but the minimum requirement should be that if you are batting 20 overs, you should be able to bat 20 overs with the same level of fitness. I mean, you don't want a batter to be losing his shape while trying to attempt shots just because he's tired in the 11th or 12th over. That is something which is not on, because if you don't work that much even on your fitness, you're not only hurting your own performances, you're also hurting the team.
Yeah.
You can't be losing shape while trying to go for your shots in the 11th, 12th over. It's something which is not on, which shouldn't be on really.
So, Nikhil, let me ask you this. Like, okay, we might say Prithvi Shaw falls in that category where he's not the fittest. Maybe Ishan Gill, I mean, Ishan Kishan as well, like you just alluded to. So, does that mean like someone like a Gaikwad, a Gill, a Padikkal can actually use fitness as a way to climb up the pecking order and be like, at least I'm really solid in my fitness, mentally and physically? Because skill sets wise, Shaw is always going to dominate
No, I didn't say Kishan lacks fitness. I
Yeah.
said like
Yeah.
in terms of game
in terms
awareness.
of game awareness. Yeah.
So I'm saying
think-
like fitness for these players like Padikkal and Jaiswal and stuff, they should be taking a good hard look at themselves and be like, maybe we can beat Shaw in this regard. We can probably trump Ishan Kishan, for example.
Yeah, I think they can definitely look at one way that okay, maybe what's because what somebody else is doing, it's not in your hand. But what
Yeah.
you can ensure is you are at your optimum best at all times, and then that is different for different person. Now, they all may not have the same scores on a fitness test, but if they are able to do the job as Gukil has said, it's about if you can do the job that's asked of you. Now, if
Yeah.
your job is not to play 20 overs, it's fine. You can play 6, 7, 8 overs, do your job and get out. It's okay. So I think it's not going to be direct black and white that okay. Now a shot doesn't always need to bat 20 overs, but you'd still expect him to say bat. If he's set, you'll want to maximize. He
Yeah.
should be able to give himself the best chance to bat as much as he can, without
100%.
without being able to tile down because of some other factors. So I think as long as you're able to do the role and be at your optimum best in your personal capacity, I think it's fine.
Oh, he's got a 4 for here, Hardik Pandya. I'm telling you, he's made himself captain of his own fantasy team tonight. That's where he's got 100 points into
This is-
2. So that's
this is
200 points.
actually something worth tweeting. Just going to take words out of your mouth and tweet it.
Bye, credit de bye. This is how he gets 32K followers on Twitter, lads. And he wants me to put, he wants me to post videos from the video and he does from the wedding and he doesn't want to put it himself. And I'm like, why? You're the
So that
man,
I can-
you're the legend on Twitter.
So that I can retweet and you can get followers.
He's like Robin Hood.
Mic drop.
Yeah, he's like I'll help the Garib here.
No, that's a good one. Last thing, Hardik Pandya, the team chased only twice. That 2-1 was silent. The other one was last match where you almost lost to chasing 100. So the young team hasn't chased down 160, 170 score. But what? It's been 9, 10
But
games.
you can look at the other way and say that this young team has defended totals,
That's
which
true.
in T20 is not a
Tougher,
very,
yeah.
yeah, it's like
And India have always had this chasing tag, but it's good to have a
Exactly.
defending sort of tag.
so you can see it either way. I mean, like
Okay, is he going to get a 5 for guys? 5 for 16?
no, he'll block it. See, friend.
No, he should not. Yeah, there are
Oh,
I'm not saying there are
no.
better bowlers.
Yes, indeed. No, 4 for 16, 4 overs. Surely that's his best figures in T20 internationals.
Yeah.
How many times has Hardik captained our country in T20 internationals? 10, 11, 12 now?
9 games.
Yeah, it's too long, too many.
Okay, so Sri Lanka series fully, New Zealand series fully, and then 2
Ireland,
against
two.
Ireland, and 1 off somewhere.
One was
Yeah.
Avnesh, check your Twitter notification.
Oh, easier.
yes.
Easier. Gurkhirat has checked it. There's nothing which is more than that.
Oh, Papa Boli. You have anything on?
Abni's
Probably.
the Oh,
Yes,
the-
more money.
dude. He's ridiculous.
And they're signing like 8-year contracts, 7-year contracts.
I think Todd Bowley thinks he's just playing Monopoly in the Premier League. Be like, yeah, I'll just buy this, I'll buy that, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like,
Yeah.
for him to spend 600, like 700 million in a transfer window is ridiculous. I mean, 2 transfer windows. Sorry, we'll go back to cricket because Knicks and Guki are not football fans by any stretch. Now is it the end? And it is. We can all go home. Please don't drop it. He doesn't. He doesn't. And Hardik start padding captaincy era. But Umran Malik gets two. Shiva Mavi got two. Hardik got four. And Arshdeep got two. So basically, all wickets
And India also got
to
two,
base.
2-1.
Yeah.
Two-
And
two-
guess what? India have not lost the series again. And Hardik Pandya shaking hands with Nitin Menon saying, thanks for helping us out, even though, we know the result was already
And
there.
the camera is going to pan and track Gill for
That's-
the
that's
eternity.
true. So basically, Shubman Gill scoring 60 more runs than New Zealand's whole team total, which is quite stupid. But India have been dominant. They've out-batted, out-bowled, out-thought,
Outfielded.
out-fielded, out-tossed, everything pretty much. Out-cultured, if that's a word. Guys, positives quickly to just wrap up proceedings. I know it was a one-man show today, Shubman Gill, but series on the whole, who we talking about here? Nikhil first, and then we'll go with Gurkirat and Akash.
Yeah, just basis on this decider, I already tweeted, but I'll say it again. अगले
Yeah.
knockout यही कीजो, because that's where it actually matters. But jokes apart, I don't think India learned too much with the ball, to be very, very honest. It could have been much better had you used your resources far better. But again, you can't change much. Positive wise, again, it was Sky and Gill who continued to show that they are the ones who are doing the job. Tripathi had one good knock today. That is a positive. A lot of trouble for Kishan, I feel. Will be under immense pressure going into the IPL as well. That he'll want to have a good season to just stay in the reckoning. And of course, the team management does back him, which is evident. But otherwise, I think not too many other things that you did not know before.
No, absolutely. I think this is India's biggest win. I was just thinking about that 168 runs, which is of course superseded the 143-run win against Ireland in 2018. So India, of course, coming up trumps clearly today. Gurkirat, is this the makings of the Indian side that we're going to see potentially in the 2024 World Cup in the West Indies, or is it still too early to say, despite Tripathi, Shivam Mavi, Umran Malik all showing their pedigree, so to speak, in this format?
I'd hope that they're building towards the towards that T20 World Cup, and if they are building towards that T20 World Cup, then I hope to see a few changes when they play the next T20I series. And yeah, like I'm completely with Nikhil here that I don't think India have learned anything from a pace bowling point of view,
Yeah.
because see, last two games Hardik has bowled his quota of overs, 8 overs, but not only is it poor from a workload, from his personal workload management point of view, but you don't get to know anything about your young pacers. And even though Arshdeep has played a T20 World Cup, we have to still realize that it's not been 1 year of international cricket for him. He made his debut in England. I think it was July. So it's only been 6 months of international cricket for Arshdeep. He's also developing, and you'd ideally want these bowlers to come and bowl, because uh, you say that bilaterals are okay and everything, but you have to use the bilaterals correctly. I genuinely didn't understand the point of Hardik bowling 4 overs today, or in the last game, and I genuinely don't understand that why does Deepak Hooda bat behind Hardik?
Yeah.
There is enough evidence that he's a good batter of spin bowling. He can really hit the spin out of park, not only because he has the shots, but he also has the power. But to use him as a finisher when he's struggled against pace bowling and not had the range, I don't understand. Even though Hardik's current game against pace is not the same as it was, he still has the experience and the game sense to do a better job than what Hooda would do eventually.
Right.
So it's a good series win, but there could have been far more learnings than what there are. Biggest learning I feel is Washington Sundar is continuing to add value. He's adding value with the ball and as well as with the bat. And then Gill's innings today really showcases uh, why he's being bagged and what's the potential that he has. Uh, Ishan Kishan has a few uncertain times ahead of him, surely, because last IPL he did score 400 runs, but they were not convincing 400 runs. Let's be very honest. It came at a strike rate of 120, and I don't think his average was 30 either. So a lot to worry about for Ishan Kishan at present. And yes, Rahul Tripathi is a very good positive in these 5 games. Hopefully, India stick with him and continue to back him, because he's playing extremely high risk cricket, and it is easy. Like, he's had two successes in five innings, I suppose, or 6 innings. He could have easily had 6 failures given the way he bats, and that is where the team management has to differentiate itself from the outside noise that they keep talking about. Like, if you want a player to bat in that manner, then you have to at least give that player 3 to 4 series to succeed. If he doesn't, then okay, maybe you drop him, because the same thing did not happen with Samson under Kohli and Ravi Shastri. Hopefully, they stick with Rahul Tripathi in that role when he fails, because it is a very, very difficult role, and it is an extremely volatile role. He could easily fail in the next 6 matches given the he's playing, and that is when you need to back him.
Okay.
Any words on Gill and Umran Malik?
I mean, he just spoke about it.
No, he didn't. Because those are the only 2 players he didn't talk about.
Shubman
He
Gill
talked
spoke
about
about it.
everybody else.
I
He
did
said a
talk
bit about it. Yeah.
I didn't really want to go too much into it, because then people are going to accuse me that there's
He
bias.
doesn't want to lead. He said for the last 3 minutes, he's talked about all the players in the team.
That's why I love Gurkirat, bro. Like, I ask him a question and he will give me like 3 minutes of solid content, and we can just sit back here. But Gurkirat, I'm just pulling your foot, but you've literally made some valid points. Akash, just
What can you add?
no,
I can only talk about
anything else, or Gurkirat to sum it up.
I mean, everything. I think
Everything.
Hardik, the captain, again, we've talked about it.
Correct.
So who's there? Chahal. Chahal is a big positive because he did play one game. I don't think there's anybody else in the team.
Deepak Hooda.
No, that also he spoke
That
about.
also he spoke about.
I'm thinking about who's Rahul Dravid as a coach.
Look, guys, we can go on and on, but Nitin will end it with yours, because it's a perfect way to, of course, tell you what we're going to be doing for the next India tournament series, essentially, which is the BGT. We're not going to be doing a watch-along, but we'll be doing, honestly, the post-day reviews with every particular test with all of us here, and we'll be, of course, doing a live stream for the preview on the 7th of Feb. That's what we've had planned for you. Thank you, beautiful people, for all of you guys joining us in the comments. I know it's been a terrific. 60, I saw 66 and I was just saying terrible. Thank you so much for witnessing the biggest win that India have enjoyed in T20 international history so far.
Avnish,
Good to see you.
Avnish, just
You're
one
not
thing.
going to bring up my dancing. Shall I end this team right now before he says something else? He's a Sardar boy.
You could bring up my dancing. I don't mind that.
No, for sure. If you want to see me dance and Gurkirat, check us out on Twitter, the cricket.com page. And of course, follow us and follow Akash and Nick as well. We'll see you guys soon. I'm super hungry. These guys have eaten. I haven't. Adios, amigos. Cheers. Guys, I'm hungry.